What is up, hooligans? And happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. We're going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we will be checking on all the chats. So let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we'll be getting things started. We ain't even that late today, but I did have to take the car to the damn shop. I was there early this morning. They didn't have time to look at it. They wanted me to come back at 3. They kind of looked at it. Then they had to order parts, and then I got to go back tomorrow. And then I may have to come back on Monday. We'll see. They don't know if it's a speed sensor or what. But it looks like I'm going to have to get bearings replaced. I might have to get my brakes done. I don't know yet. I don't really know, but I got to go back tomorrow, and it sucks, and I'm really annoyed about it. Either way, we're going to be starting this live with the video titled, U.S. Cancels Over $700 Million in Funding for Moderna Bird Flu Vaccine. Apparently, we're not going to get that chicken flu vaccine. You know, it was a big deal. They hardly talk about the chicken flu anymore. Then we got a video titled, it's from the press briefing earlier today. That's kind of why we didn't cover that. It's because I had to deal with car stuff. But we're going to play the intro of it, and then we're going to play Peter Ducey asking questions. Everything else is kind of whatever. Then we got a video titled, Teachers Bring Back Blue Books to Curb AI Cheating in Classrooms. They're going to make students use pen and paper. Good. Good. Get back to it. I don't think we need to be doing everything on a computer anyway, so yeah, let them use pen and paper to avoid cheating with AI. Then we got a video titled, Doge leader Elon Musk leaves Trump administration. I don't know why they talk about Elon like that. They said in the beginning when they were secretive about who the head of Doge was, they said it wasn't Elon. They said it was some woman or something like that. Now they're referring to him as the leader of Doge. Then we got a video titled, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino says cleaned up video of Jeffrey Epstein alone in his cell at the time of death is to be released. They don't say when, but they just say sometime in the future that's going to come out. Then we got a video with Kennedy, Senator Kennedy. It's titled, They Will Steal the Hair Off Your Head. It's Senator Kennedy talking about international students coming here from the CCP or international students that come here to break the law. They're also going to be talking about the United States Court of International Trade, how they blocked Trump's tariffs. They just speak on that briefly. Then we got a video about the tariffs. It's titled, Court's Halt on Tariffs Stunning and Surprising, says Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream. We just do that as a follow-up because when we originally were talking about the Court of Trade, we were watching Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream, so I figured we'd do the follow-up. But since then, it has made it to the appeals court, so this next video is Federal Court of Appeals granting emergency stay to allow the Trump tariffs to proceed. So for like 24 hours the tariffs were knocked down, but it seems they're back up again. Then we got a follow-up video, Diddy trial's latest. It says former personal assistant Mia takes witness stand, just keeping up to date with the Diddy trial. Still nothing that damning other than just saying that Diddy's a bad person. That's kind of all they're proving, but they're not really proving human trafficking. Then the last little bit of the news is pastor claims that Antifa militants threw water balloons filled with piss at worship event. This is from last Saturday. The mayor also came out and said that it's not Antifa's fault that there was violence at that event. It was the Christians' fault because those are some violent Christians out there. Then we'll be getting into the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne. We got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled Caroline Levitt telling us how she really feels. And our official funny video of the day was provided by Stoner. And it's titled Your Safety Video for the Day. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see how you hooligans are doing today. What is up, everyone over on jeffmaclive.com. What's up, Russell? What's up, Jay Spray? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Matt Rogers? What's up, Guessum? What's up, Tori Wayne? What's up, Hair Juicer? Happy freedom to you, hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone over on Rumble? Shroomish, you were first today. And I appreciate you racing in the chat, Shroomish. What's up, MU? Happy freedom to you. I'm going to say what's up to the Rumble bot. That's like saying hello to myself. What's up, Gron? What's up, Tony Rez? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Elder Zoomer? What's up, Disco? What's up, Wayward? Happy freedom. Let me see. What's up, Too Old to Care? What's up, Ghostly? Appreciate you guys being here. What's up, H Big? Happy freedom to you. Scrolling through. Let me see. Make sure we get everybody. What's up, Relax? Happy freedom to you. Oh, we're all late today. That's okay. Got some, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. You hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble. See if you can get us on the front page. And what is up, everyone over on Kick? Happy freedom to you. Oh, what is this? We'll see. I'll read through that. It's probably trolling. Either way, happy freedom, everyone over on Kick. And what is up, everyone over on Twitch? Matt Rogers, you're truly omnipresent. What's up, Tony Rich? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone over on the communism platform? What's up, Tube Steak? You were first today. Klaus Fitness Center. Love that. What's up, Klaus Fitness Center? Happy freedom to you. Matt Rogers, you are truly omnipresent. Wayward, you are omnipresent. Russell, you are omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Proud Patriot Girly? What's up, Skulls? Happy freedom. What's up, Amber? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Lady Katie? Happy freedom. And what is up, everyone over on... why did X not launch? Oh, it did. Okay. It was just being weird today. Either way, happy freedom, everyone watching over on X. Wayward, you're over here. What's up, Tony Rich? Appreciate both of you hooligans being here on X. All right, let's go ahead and get into things, and then I can throw the hammer at some trolls. Like I said, this first one is U.S. cancels over $700 million in funding for the Moderna bird flu vaccine. Looks like we're not getting our chicken flu vaccine. Oh, sad story. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, we have these Hooligan Strong t-shirts. Now, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass at just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have the opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, dog tags, and we've made tumblers out of this design. Today I got on the Plain Jane Jeff Mac t-shirt. We got lots of items and lots of designs over in the merch store. I'll be dropping links in the chats while we're watching this first video.
Bird flu is spreading through US poultry flocks and cattle herds. It's infected 70 people in the country over the past year, mostly farm workers. But drug maker Moderna says the Trump administration has cancelled funding for development of a vaccine. The firm was originally awarded $590 million by the Biden administration to advance work on the treatment. That was on top of an earlier $176 million from the US Department of Health and Human Services. Now Moderna says the funding has been withdrawn. An HHS spokesperson said a review showed the project did not meet standards required for federal investment. But a medical expert at Johns Hopkins University said the government was discarding what could have been an effective and fast tool to combat the disease. US Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy has questioned the use of vaccines. He drew criticism earlier in the year after suggesting poultry farmers should let bird flu spread to allow the study of chickens that stayed immune. Moderna now says it will seek alternative ways to develop and manufacture the vaccine. It has been banking on revenue from new shots to make up for waning post-pandemic demand for its COVID inoculations. Bird flu has also been detected in other countries, including Brazil, the world's top exporter of chickens. This week, officials there said they were investigating a possible new case on a commercial farm.
Okay, so we're not getting that chicken flu vaccine. That's a real sad story. It's interesting how the chicken flu was such a big deal, and now they don't even talk about it other than this one story about the chicken vaccine here. They said that $590 million from Biden admin went to the development of the vaccine. Then they also got an additional $176 million from DHS. President Trump canceled the development of the vaccine. I don't know why they need all that damn money to develop it in the first place. They're saying that a review ended up showing that they did not meet the standards required in order to receive federal funding. I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of wasted money to me. Either way. Next up, we got the press briefing from earlier today. Like I said earlier, we're going to show the introduction from Caroline Leavitt, and then we're going to listen to Peter Doocy ask his question. I think that was probably the most worthwhile parts out of the entire press briefing. So if you didn't see it, you didn't miss much, but we got it coming up next. But first, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about us not getting the chicken flu vaccine. I know some people are going to be bent out of shape about that. Russell, it's expensive to develop a drug. Yeah. Well, and who knows how that was going to affect anything. We're going to give the chickens vaccines, and then we're going to eat the chickens. And it's like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me. I don't know if it's better to eat the chicken flu or the chicken flu vaccine. You know, it seems like two bad situations here. Oh, let's get the chat rolling. Bam, there we go. What's up, Based? Happy freedom to you. Too old to care, waste of money. I think so too. I don't know. We never needed it. Now all of a sudden it's a requirement. I don't think so. Bill Clay, no chicken flu. It's Trump's fault. Yeah, Trump did it. It's Trump's fault. What's up, Trapper? Happy freedom to you. Appreciate you reposting the live, Trapper. You're a badass. Happy freedom, Pumpkin. Trapper, no jabs. Yeah, don't jab my chicken. That's explicit. Guess some sounds more like chicken shit reporting. It is. Don't jab me, don't jab my chickens. Trapper, rained off and on all week. We had rain yesterday. It's kind of sunny today, but it's not too hot, thank God. What's up, Stoner? Happy freedom. Bay's pass on the vax. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. What's up, guess who? Happy freedom to you. The Subaru Mafia unit. Gang, gang. Not quite. My poor Subaru is just howling. Just howling along. What's up, Toto? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Johnny? Happy freedom to you. Time to think about fireworks. We're getting there. What's up, Teasel? Happy freedom. Klaus, it's interesting. Klaus Fitness, making me afraid to eat chicken. I think we'll be okay. What's up, DP? Happy freedom to you. This whole chicken flu thing supposedly has been going on since like 2018 or something like that. Nobody gave a shit until we couldn't afford eggs, which only happened for like a couple weeks. But I don't know. They act like this has been going on for a long period of time. Tube Steak, Moderna will now sue the Trump administration. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Every 5 seconds, there's a new lawsuit against President Trump. Russell, it's going to be a mild summer. I'm not going to be mad at that. I don't like sitting here sweating to death. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. Jay Spray, really trying to make sure we get that mRNA. Yeah. Lots of effort going into it. All right, hooligans. Like I said, we got the press briefing coming up. Now, we're not going to watch the entire thing, but we're going to watch the introduction by Caroline Levitt. And then we're going to watch Peter Doocy ask his question, because he's the only one worth listening to most of the time. Also, I think Corinne was at the press briefing too. She posted a ton of videos over on X. Nothing that necessarily made the schedule. But either way, we're going to get into this. Go ahead and hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube. And let's get this rolling.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Wow, a packed room today. Last night, the Trump administration faced another example of judicial overreach. Using his full and proper legal authority, President Trump imposed universal tariffs and reciprocal tariffs on Liberation Day to address the extraordinary threat to our national security and economy posed by large and persistent annual U.S. goods trade deficits. The United States has run a trade deficit of goods every year since 1975. In 2024, our trade deficit in goods exceeded $1 trillion. Everybody agrees this is unacceptable. President Trump is delivering on his promise to fix this problem, and he has taken a long overdue and much needed bold stance for American workers after decades of our manufacturing base being hollowed out. The president's rationale for imposing these powerful tariffs was legally sound and grounded in common sense. President Trump correctly believes that America cannot function safely long-term if we are unable to scale advanced domestic manufacturing capacity, have our own secure critical supply chains, and our defense industrial base is dependent on foreign adversaries. Three judges of the U.S. Court of International Trade disagreed and brazenly abused their judicial power to usurp the authority of President Trump to stop him from carrying out the mandate that the American people gave him. These judges failed to acknowledge that the President of the United States has core foreign affairs powers and authority given to him by Congress to protect the United States economy and national security. Congress had created the National Emergency Act to provide the congressional framework to strike down improper IEEPA use, and any questions over whether President Trump improperly imposed these IEEPA tariffs were already adjudicated in Congress following Liberation Day. Congress firmly rejected an effort led by Senator Rand Paul and Democrats to terminate the president's reciprocal tariffs. The courts should have no role here. There is a troubling and dangerous trend of unelected judges inserting themselves into the presidential decision-making process. America cannot function if President Trump, or any other president for that matter, has their sensitive diplomatic or trade negotiations railroaded by activist judges. President Trump is in the process of rebalancing America's trading agreements with the entire world, bringing tens of billions of dollars in tariff revenues to our country, and finally ending the United States of America from being ripped off. These judges are threatening to undermine the credibility of the United States on the world stage. The administration has already filed an emergency motion for a stay pending appeal and an immediate administrative stay to strike down this egregious decision. But ultimately, the Supreme Court must put an end to this for the sake of our Constitution and our country. With Congress returning next week, it's critical that Senate Republicans maintain the momentum and quickly pass the One Big Beautiful Bill. The One Big Beautiful Bill will truly make America safe and prosperous. The One Big Beautiful Bill includes the largest border security investment ever. That's why the law enforcement groups are lining up to encourage its swift passage. The National Fraternal Order of Police, the largest police union in the country, just endorsed key provisions of the bill. The FOP president announced their strong support, saying the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is more than legislation. It is a promise kept to the public safety officers across the country and a bold step toward an economy that respects, rewards, and uplifts the people who keep it safe. And the National Border Patrol Council, which represents nearly 20,000 Border Patrol agents, hailed the legislation as well. The group's president said this legislation provides a once-in-a-generation investment in the border security of our great country and will make America safer. The One Big Beautiful Bill will guarantee we can permanently have the safest, strongest, and most secure immigration system in American history. I also want to take the opportunity to debunk some false claims that have been circulating in the press about this bill. The blatantly wrong claim that the One Big Beautiful Bill increases the deficit is based on the Congressional Budget Office and other scorekeepers who use shoddy assumptions and have historically been terrible at forecasting across Democrat and Republican administrations alike. For example, just before Congress enacted the original Trump tax cuts at the end of 2017, the same CBO projected that growth would average a mere 1.9% over the next 10 years. However, by 2019, actual growth had surged to 3.4% once the Trump tax cuts went into effect, exceeding the CBO forecast by nearly 2 full percentage points. The CBO's latest forecast makes the same anemic growth assumptions as they did in 2017, missing the impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill. The CBO assumes long-term GDP growth of an anemic 1.8%, and that is absurd. The American economy is going to boom like never before after the One Big Beautiful Bill is passed. The largest middle-class tax cut in history, massive deregulation, and the most aggressive domestic energy exploration ever will fuel small businesses, further boost private investment, increase workers' wages, and supercharge economic growth. The Council of Economic Advisors has factored in the effects of all these pro-growth policies and estimated in their own analysis that growth will average 3% in the long run after the One Big Beautiful Bill is passed, which is nearly double the ridiculous CBO projection. This higher growth would result in $4.1 trillion in additional revenue over the next 10 years. Between the common sense spending reforms contained in the One Big Beautiful Bill and the robust economic growth that will be generated as a result of it, there will be no increase to the deficit. The same analysis from the CEA shows just how this historic package will unleash prosperity and ignite a blue-collar boom across America. But if the radical Democrats get their way and the One Big Beautiful Bill does not pass, Americans will face a whopping $4 trillion tax hike. This is unacceptable to President Trump. President Trump will not allow Democrats to massively raise Americans' taxes. Senate Republicans must get this bill passed. The failure is not an option. The American people are counting on Republicans to deliver. In other news, despite all the doom casting from the media, Americans are growing more and more optimistic about the economy under this president. Consumer confidence surged in May with the biggest monthly jump in 4 years, smashing expectations. According to the release from the Consumer Confidence Index, the increase in confidence was broad-based across all age groups, income groups, and political affiliations. Our country is clearly heading in the right direction under President Trump's bold leadership. For the first time in history of Rasmussen polling, a majority of Americans believe the country is on the right track. It's unsurprising because the president is fulfilling the promises he made to the American people. Here in our new media seat today, we have the editor-in-chief of The Federalist.
Okay. So like I said, we're going to listen to the introduction. Now we're going to see about Peter Doocy. Let me see where this is. All right. Getting back to it. We're going to listen to Peter Doocy ask his question, and then we'll get in the chat.
Peter.
Thank you, Caroline. So many of the president's plans right now are being blocked by courts. If the courts are going to be the ones who are shaping policy, does the president wish he would have just become a judge instead?
I think the president would take this job over being a judge, and certainly the president is acting within his authority. He wishes judges would do the same.
But so the courts are basically telling you guys they think that the White House's policies, the president's policies, are in some way against the law. So why can't President Trump ask the Republicans that control the House and the Republicans that control the Senate just to make a new law?
Well, these laws have already been granted to the president by the Constitution and by laws that have been previously passed. I'll give you another example. For instance, we've been blocked in court for the revocation of visas from individuals who have the privilege of studying in the United States of America. Secretary of State Rubio has simply used his authority to revoke those visas, to revoke that privilege, and we've seen the courts try to block that. So if these judges want to be the Secretary of State or they want to be the president, they can run for office themselves. It should be the other way around. But all of the actions the president has taken rely on legal authorities that have already been granted to him by our nation's existing laws.
And on a different topic, there are some folks in President Biden's inner circle who are now in talks with Republicans in Congress to give interviews about how they may have handled President Biden's decline. Is the president satisfied with aides only sitting for these transcribed interviews, or would he also like to see some kind of testimony from the former First Lady, Dr. Biden?
I think, frankly, the former First Lady should certainly speak up about what she saw in regards to her husband and when she saw it and what she knew, because I think anybody looking, again, at the videos and photo evidence of Joe Biden with your own eyes and a little bit of common sense can see this was a clear cover-up. And Jill Biden was certainly complicit in that cover-up. There's documentation, video evidence of her clearly shielding her husband away from the cameras. They were just on The View last week. She was saying everything is fine. She's still lying to the American people. She still thinks the American public are so stupid that they're going to believe her lies. And frankly, it's insulting, and she needs to answer for it.
He's on fire!
Caroline.
Okay, so that's from the press briefing earlier today. Like I said, covering Caroline Leavitt's introduction as well as Peter Doocy asking his questions there. Next up, we got teachers bring back blue books to curb AI cheating in classrooms. Making them get back to pens and paper, I think it's the way to go. Either way, it's what's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about that press briefing from earlier today. Snooks, Peter has a little turtle mouth. I don't know what to say about that. I have never heard anyone say that someone has a turtle mouth. That is interesting. I will keep the lookout. I did not realize turtle mouth was something you need to be aware of. Holy, I'm seeing the world in a new light now. Tori Wayne, Jill would love to turn against those that turned against her, I bet. Well, Jill Handler was just enjoying being in the White House. She's like the biggest groupie I've ever seen, ever. I can't stand Jill Handler. Not at all. And I like that Caroline Leavitt called her out and was like, yeah, she's just lying to everybody, claiming that old man Walter is sharp as a tack. Like, that whole situation annoys the piss out of me. We already knew he was an old man. We already knew he was decrepit and out of his mind. And we said it for years. And everybody was just, calling it violent rhetoric and stuff like that. Old man Walter is no longer in office, and now everybody's like, did you know he was a decrepit old man? Yeah, for years. Almost a half a decade. Yes, we were aware, and we told you, but you just denied it. You just put your wiener in your ear and was like, and here we are. So it's so annoying to deal with it at this point. Jay Spray, we hijacked a turtle this weekend. What the hell is going on? What does that even mean? What does it mean to hijack a turtle? Holy, words I've never said in my life. Hijacking a turtle. Russell, you don't kiss turtles? I gotta go look at my exes and see if I've ever kissed a turtle mouth before. I didn't know that was a thing. Based, I knew what she meant when she said turtle mouth. Never heard anyone say it before, but I knew what she meant. Yeah, Based, I know. I'm trying to think. I've heard people call them like M lips. Like where you got like an M face, but I've never heard anybody say turtle mouth. That's crazy. Appeal to Heaven, I have 3 turtles living on my property. It's awesome. A little turtle sanctuary. What's up, Metal Mouth? Happy freedom to you. Old Man Walter's as sharp as a marble. You're not wrong. Ghostly, I want the transparency that they claim that they're giving us. Yeah, that's kind of an annoying thing too. Is that they're always like, oh, transparency. And it's like, okay, but they promised us that we were going to get arrests. We were going to see people on Capitol Hill get arrested. We were going to see, illegals getting deported no matter what. And I mean, we're getting it in small amounts, but the big thing is like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. They made promises that they have not delivered on. And just like the Epstein files, right? Phase 1. And then they even put in fine print there the most transparent administration in history or something like that, and then gave us redacted files of something we had for years unredacted. It's like such a slap in the face. It seems like President Trump's the only person actually working. Everybody else, they're just enjoying being famous. What's up, Roy? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Giggling Spy? Happy freedom to you. Happy freedom, Dutton, if I can get you all ready. Xterra, she kind of hops when she talks. I didn't notice that. I mean, I think everybody else was staring at other things on the screen, but yeah, I will keep an eye out next time. Ghostly, their boss is Trump, so it's on Trump. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, Shroomish Scam Bondi. Jay Spray grabbed a painter turtle off the road. It's been watching Bruce Lee ever since. We'll see what happens. You got that turtle power going on. Hair Juicer, the UFOs were back again. Another co-worker saw them from a city away. That's crazy, Hair Juicer. Do you got more videos on it? What's up, Rich? Happy freedom. What's up, Rad? Happy freedom to you. Rad, she said Trump has fulfilled his promises. Which promises? Well, I'm assuming they're talking about campaign promises. I don't know if she specified when she was just talking there, but I assume she's talking about campaign promises. Kicking dudes out of women's sports, doing the mass deportation, closing the border, using tariffs, things like that. President Trump's been pretty much doing everything that he's promised. The problem is that these judges stop what's happening, and then it kind of seems like nothing happens after that. Now, in this tariff situation, the trade court that we were talking about like a week ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, they finally stopped the tariffs, but then within 24 hours, they turn around and the appeal court put the tariffs back into play. So that's the only thing that I've noticed where they quickly got that turned around. There's been some stuff with the mass deportation too, where they were getting people out of the country, but then the judges were saying that due process wasn't, it wasn't happening, and that was unconstitutional, so they stopped it. And then President Trump did the Illegal Aliens Act or something like that, and then that changed the rules of the game, and the court stopped it for a moment, but then they turned around and let it happen. And so deportation's back on the table, but everything else is kind of controversial. Like, they're trying to end birthright citizenship, but the judges are keeping that tied up, so there hasn't been a decision on that yet. So the deportations right now are any illegals that have kids in the country, their kids are Americans. But if they rule in favor of President Trump, that'll no longer be the case. Rad, what about helping poor people, putting America first, etc.? I haven't seen any of that. Well, that's supposed to be the big beautiful bill, to make it so no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, cutting our taxes. He was saying yesterday that if they don't pass the big beautiful bill, our taxes are going up 65%. So it's supposedly in the bill, but we won't know until the bill gets passed. They're expecting it to get passed by the 4th of July. What's up, DB Cooper? Happy freedom to you. DC is a hellhole. Yeah, I've never heard anything good about DC. Capitol Hill or otherwise. What's up, DB? Happy freedom to you. Mitch looks like a cartoon turtle. He does. I can't think what was the book that had little turtle in it. Little turtle kid. I can't think what his name is. That's Mitch McConnell when he was a little kid. What's up, Sam? Happy freedom to you. All right, hooligans. Yes, Franklin here, Juicer. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Mitch McConnell looks like Franklin. You're right. Why do you know that here, Juicer? Anyways, moving forward. This next one is teachers bring back blue books to curb AI cheating in classrooms. They're going to find out that these people don't know how to read and write by this right here. They've been using that whole talk to text on the computer. Now it's time to get back to pens and paper. They're not going to be able to spell their name. Either way, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. Let's get this polled up.
Brooke also.
There we go. All right, hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Brooke, also, let me jump back to you and talk about teachers.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
They're using this new sort of like low-tech method to crack down on students cheating with AI, but this could leave kids with hand cramps on test day.
Yeah, we're kind of going, old school, if you will, to try and combat AI and its role in the classroom. Teachers trying to make sure that students aren't cheating in class. And so, get this, they're making students pull out their pens and pencils once again and just write on paper by hand. The Wall Street Journal reporting that teachers are bringing back testing blue books, that packet of papers that usually with the blue cover, right, where students have to handwrite the answers that just take you guys back to school. The Journal looked at data from campus bookstores at public universities across the U.S. and found that sales of these blue books are up 30% at Texas A&M, nearly 50% at the University of Florida. Over the past 2 years, those blue book sales shot up 80% at Cal Berkeley. Wow. So this, of course, comes as educators are grappling with how to handle AI's role in the classroom and its impacts. The American Association of Colleges and Universities and Elon University, they recently asked more than 300 campus leaders about artificial intelligence and how it's really changing the landscape. 59% said cheating has increased since these AI tools have become widely available. So now it seems like some professors and teachers, they are bringing back those blue books, pen and paper to try and combat the rise of cheating and also figure out really how to evolve in their classroom with AI becoming such a prominent role in learning.
And then how much of it is actually research, and where do you draw that line? But you have to cite your sources.
Yeah. I love going old school, but the way that a shudder kind of went through my body when you pulled up the blue
bad
book,
memories.
bad memories, man.
You're right back.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
I'm hearing a lot of use of the phrase low tech. I don't know why, but I've heard that like 15 times this week already. Oh, it's low tech. Yeah, using a pen and a paper is pretty low tech. I don't know. It's not like you're making the kids, fill out their homework by chiseling into stone and shit like that. It's low tech. I'm telling you, once they realize that these kids do not know how to use their hands to write, they're going to have some real problems here. I don't know. It's a good idea. I think it's a good idea because I've been waiting to see what this new world is going to look like, where everybody in college right now isn't even doing their homework or doing their classwork. They're just making AI do it. So in 10 years, we'll have doctors that didn't actually learn anything. We'll have mechanics and plumbers and people like that who, if you have hands-on training, you're good. You took an online class, oh, you're brain dead. You're fucking brain dead because you let AI do all the work. So you're going to have dumb attorneys and everything else. So this is good. I think that they should do classwork, pen and paper. It's good for you. It's good for your brain. When you read on paper, your brain is affected differently than if you're reading on a screen and stuff like that. So it's good. We don't need people cheating through life and all of that because it just keeps them dumb. Makes you clever, but not smarter. Next up, Doge leader. I don't know why they say that. The Doge leader, who's not actually the leader, Elon Musk, leaves Trump administration. Of course, the lefties are enjoying this because they think this is because of infighting and stuff. I don't know where they were when Elon was saying that this wasn't going to last forever. But either way, that's what's coming up next. First, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about schools requiring students to get back to pen and paper instead of doing everything on a computer. I think it's a step in the right direction. Guess low tech. I will auto pen your abortion approval, fucker. Love that. I love that. Sam, but it hurts their hand. Yeah, you got to worry about that because they've never had their ass whooped before. That's how it goes. Raising softies. Thank you for letting me know, Snooks. J Spray, it's got to be hard. You got to teach kids what a pencil is and how to use paper. I know they're going to be asking the pencil what its pronouns are and shit like that. I don't know. It's going to be rough. They'll have to figure it out. Thank you so much, Patriot Dad, for that $5 donation over on Rumble. I really appreciate you, Patriot Dad. Thank you so much for the help and the support. Says, App Your Freedom Hooligans made it to 52 today. Off work, beer 30, firing up the grill. That's badass, Patriot Dad. Happy birthday to you. Hope today kicks ass for you. And thank you so much for sharing some of your birthday with us. You're awesome, Patriot Dad. Base low tech? You mean the OG method? Yeah, I don't understand why they're saying low tech. It sounds, I don't know. It sounds derogatory. That's low tech. That's very low tech of you. I don't know. What's up, Winston? Happy freedom to you. Patriot Dad, I love calligraphy in school. It was in art class. That's cool. I remember trying to do calligraphy. We didn't have a class on it, but we had, I don't remember what grade I was in, 7th grade or something, but they gave us the opportunity to try. I was never successful doing it, but very neat stuff. Metamouth, I prefer to use pen and paper. Yeah. Appeal to heaven. I didn't know. Well, happy freedom to you. I didn't know schools weren't doing pencil and paper anymore. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't even know how I can even explain this. I got a lot of siblings, and I want to say like 15 years ago or something like that, they stopped doing that. They gave everybody laptops when Chromebooks came out. When Chromebooks were like a new thing, the schools started giving students Chromebooks, and parents had to sign off on it saying that you're going to be held responsible for your Chromebook. And from that point on, it was like hardly anything is done on pen and paper. Everything's done on their goofy Chromebook. They probably got tablets now. They probably use iPads for everything. Dingo, happy freedom to you. My handwriting was shit until I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's interesting. My handwriting is terrible, and I haven't actually gone through anything to improve it. But I have a situation like that in which I was able to learn to type. I always had to watch my hands typing, which is why I got this keyboard, so I could see the letters and numbers in the dark because I know where they were. But ever since I've had this website I've been working on, I've been writing so much code, and it's so tedious and repetitive that I've just learned how to type without actually looking at the keyboard because I'm writing code so much. And so now I'm going to have to try some Dungeons and Dragons because, man, my handwriting needs improvement. Dingo, I bet handwriting is really bad these days. I bet kids are like holding pens like this. You remember being in like 2nd grade and you'd see people like doing this kind of shit? I bet we got 12th graders that are doing that right now. What's up, Cricket Kiss? Happy freedom to you. Based. Hey, pencil, write me an essay. Yeah, they're going to find out the hard way. It ain't how it works. Tree herder, happy freedom to you. A bunch of booger smears. Yeah, basically. What's up, 5D? Happy freedom to you. Metalmouth, Mitch McConnell looks like Mr. Garrison from South Park. I don't know. That's almost offensive to Mr. Garrison. Holy. Sam, slap her upside the head with this low tech. Yeah, exactly. What is your name? We'll go with UX. Happy freedom to you, UX. They need to learn cursive. They are starting to bring cursive back. We covered a video last week or the week before. It was talking about how they're bringing back cursive. I can't remember why they said they were doing it, but it wasn't because of the Declaration of Independence or anything like that. I can't remember why they were saying it, but they are bringing back cursive. I don't know if it's going to be nationwide, but there's some schools that are bringing it back. What's up, Roberto? Happy freedom to you. We were just talking about how schools are starting to require students to write on pen and paper instead of using laptops, anything like that, because they're using AI to cheat on everything. What's up, Jim? Happy freedom to you. Jim, if paper and pencil is low tech, you should see what I can do with rocks and sticks. I don't know why that's like the phrase of the day. You know, like they've been using that a lot. I wish I could remember. We just covered a video a couple days ago where they were saying the same thing. They were saying that we had a low tech problem or something like that. And I wish I could remember what it was. Oh, I think it was the crypto kidnapping thing that happened in New York. There's like 3 people or 4 people that were involved in a kidnapping. There's some guy from Italy or somewhere like that. They were trying to get his Bitcoin password, so they were torturing him and peeing on him and taking pictures while they were doing it because they're a bunch of weirdos. And they were saying that this is a high-tech situation while they were using low-tech means to get the password because they were torturing the guy. So apparently torturing someone or peeing on someone is a low-tech offense. And that's where I first started hearing people use that phrase, and now they can't stop using it. Everything's low-tech now. I don't know. You're out there jerking it tonight. Just know that's low-tech moves right there. Anyways. Wayward, the kids are all that really matters. Most of us are already the way we are. It's true, Wayward. Yep. Wayward, outside of family matters, being there for children is the most important thing any of us can do. Yep, they're the future. They're the future of America. 10 man, I bet high school students are still sucking their thumbs and can't write in cursive. Well, it depends on what kind of teachers they got. It dictates what they're sucking on, but yep, you're right. Moving forward here, Doge leader, I don't know why they're misrepresenting Elon like this, but Doge leader Elon Musk leaves the Trump administration. Bunch of haters. That's what it sounds like. People hating. Anyways, hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
Elon Musk has one more government job to cut, his own. The billionaire who became president, President Trump's chief cost cutter, says he is leaving his temporary government position. Doug Luzader has more from Washington.
Elon Musk says this has been his plan all along, but he is expressing some frustration on the way out.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, we will indeed do that.
There's no question that Elon Musk brought enthusiasm to the job, but his time as a leader of the Department of Government Efficiency has come to an end. He posted on X, "As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank President Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending."
Our goal is to reduce the waste and fraud by $4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week.
Musk made some heady claims at the outset, promising to cut at least $1 trillion in government waste. Doge now claims to have saved $175 billion. During Musk's tenure, his car business, Tesla, clearly suffered as he faced both criticism and praise. On his way out, he says President Trump's so-called big, beautiful spending bill undermines some of his efforts.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both.
It was criticism that the president shrugged off yesterday.
We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go.
And through his short tenure in government, Musk may have learned one important lesson. Even a chainsaw has a tough time cutting through the thicket of federal bureaucracy.
And that he was going back to something that he found easier to do, maybe, which is like try to colonize Mars. Washington is harder to fix, harder to steer than maybe it looks like from the outside.
Now, as a special government employee, Musk was limited to 130 days of work. He says the DOGE mission, though, will live on. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the lefties are acting like they chased him out of D.C. Like, everybody knew that this was going to come to an end eventually. Doge itself will come to an end. Once they clean up all the fraud, abuse, and waste, if that ever happens, if they ever complete their task there, then Doge itself will be the only remaining waste of money left, and they will shut down Doge. Now, I guess I never really thought about what if they stifle Doge so much that they never complete the task. So we just constantly have Doge. I wonder how that could be abused in the future. I don't know. Interesting idea. But yeah, like I said, the lefties are celebrating this like they chased Elon out of DC. This was always going to happen. And they've been bringing up that Tesla and other projects that Elon has are kind of sliding back, and so they need his attention. They need him to be there to do what he's got to do to move these projects forward, and Doge will live on. He wasn't the leader of Doge. There was a big thing about this when the press briefings were going on a month or two ago. They were all concerned about who was leading Doge. Was it Elon? It ended up being some woman I've never even heard of. She was the head of Doge, not him. And so it's interesting the way they talk about Elon as if Doge is on the way out the door and Elon's chased off by lefties and, oh, this is something to celebrate for them. I don't know. I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's the news. Next up, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino says cleaned up video of Jeffrey Epstein alone in his cell at the time of death is to be released. Now, he don't say when, but sometime in the future, maybe. We'll see this video. Either way, first we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about Elon Musk and leaving the Trump administration. Guess they need to keep big balls? Yep. Well, and he's still there, so we'll see. So hopefully they'll continue to cut this this wasted doll hairs. Russell, the Dems love seeing Musk going. Yeah. Like I said, they act like this is a win for them, but this was actually part of the plan the whole time. Russell, we all need big balls. You say that until you sit down on them, and then, you know, it's not all great. It's not all fun and games. Winston, Epstein didn't film himself. Yeah. I think it's interesting that Dan Bongino is pushing this Epstein killed himself stuff all of a sudden. I don't know that it's just that simple, because they were saying like he wasn't being supervised, he was on suicide watch, the camera stopped working magically, and I don't know, just like a lot of things lined up perfectly for him to smoke himself. Now maybe he didn't have assistance, like people didn't murder him, but maybe someone provided the tools and the scenario for him to be able to smoke himself, like disabling the cameras, like providing him with whatever, it could be razor blades or whatever, leaving him on his own long enough for this to happen, maybe distracting others from checking on him, things like that. So I don't know. It just seems like they're rolling out an agenda, though. Bays, sounds like the journalist was doing a hit piece and drinking a lot of haterade. Oh, they were. The person reporting on that, I assume, is the one that wrote the title for it. Ghostly Dan is a glowy. It's starting to look that way. Cricket Kiss, Elon's plan all along to lead Doge until May 1st. I hope they keep it up indefinitely. The thing I worry about with Doge is that I don't know that they have a definition of what fraud and abuse and all of that actually is. And so right now when they're cutting stuff, they're proving to us that these things being cut are worthless programs, like what the USAID was doing. But what happens when Democrats get in charge? Because that'll happen. It's not like it's just Trump for life. Eventually Democrats will get back in office. It's like inevitable unless something terrible happens and none of us are here anymore. And so when Democrats get in charge again, what are they going to do with Doge? How are they going to affect the American people? What programs are they going to cut because they're going to claim it's wasteful? Are they going to go after stuff that only benefits conservatives and cut that out? Are they going to maybe look the other way when programs come out to help children become trans and shit like that, and Doge just goes, yep, that's fine, let's keep that. You know what, let's spend more money on that. Like, I worry about how the Doge system will be abused. Now, what's really interesting about all of that is that Doge wasn't created by Trump. The office itself was created by Obama, but they didn't do anything with it, from what I understand. And Trump and them converted it to be what it is now. And now that that's happened, once the Democrats get control of this again, how are they going to abuse it? That's what I keep thinking. Trapper Doge is temporary? Yeah, it's supposed to be. What's up, Nana? Happy freedom to you. Bays, not gonna lie, my handwriting is shit. My signature looks like the president. I can write the first letter of my name in cursive, but then it's scribble scribble. Yeah, Bays. It depends what I'm signing. If I'm signing stuff at like Walmart, like, I don't know if you have to do that anymore. You used to have to like scan your credit card and then sign it or whatever digitally. I would just write like Deadpool or something stupid like that, because it doesn't matter. Like, that kind of stuff just doesn't matter. If it's important, then I'll really sign it. Or like sometimes I sign stickers and stuff that I send to you guys. That has its own signature that's different. Picture Dad, I've bowled naked. I have never done that. That's some brave stuff. Appeal to Heaven, taking a shower naked outside is the best. You guys are living your life. I don't be doing anything naked. Shower, that's about it. Drop a 1 in the chat if you poop naked. That's about it. That's about it. 10 man, it's wild. High schoolers can't write in cursive. Yeah. I don't know if it's nationwide, but there's absolutely high schoolers that cannot write in cursive. There's people who have graduated school that cannot read analog clocks. They don't know which hand is the minute hand and which one's the hour hand. And they're like graduated. They're already working at McDonald's and shit, and they're going to be working there their whole life because they can't even read clocks. I don't know. It's weird. Bays, can Trump abolish Doge after he leaves just in case? Well, some judge will stand in the way if he does. I don't know if he actually has the power or not, but you see the way the judges are treating these Trump orders. What's up, Torp? Happy freedom to you. UX, we had to learn cursive once upon a time. Yeah, I can't remember if I was in 3rd grade or 4th grade, but I remember not liking having to learn cursive. What's up, FEMA Region? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Vinny C? Happy freedom to you if I can get you all ready. What's up, K Walt? Happy freedom. What's up, Danny? Happy freedom to you. Elon loves this country. It gives me hope. Yes, he does. Or at least it seems like he does. Vinny C. Elon will still be involved behind the scenes? Probably. Jim, I have a problem with sitting on the boys every once in a while. It's not funny. It always happens to me when I'm on a park bench. I'll be on a walk and I'll be like, all right, I'm sitting on the bench and hit my pen real quick. No. And it just knocks all the wind out of you. You got to sit there and try and play it off. You got kids and dogs and shit running by, and you're like, oh. Sit right on the nuggets. I don't know why God made him that way. What's up, man? Happy freedom to you. Wayward, you were on the TV when I got home. My girlfriend put you on for the dog. Good gals. That's badass, Wayward. Heck yeah. Snooks. So if I get stickers for pasties, you sign them? Yeah, I will sign them, Snooks. Man, I learned cursive in elementary school. Yeah, so did I. Metal Mouth, are you left-handed or right-handed? I am left-handed. I'm a true left-hander. I bat left-handed, I golf left-handed, I write left-handed, and most people aren't like that. Most people will be one-handed when they write and the other-handed when they do sports and shit. But I am true left-handed all the way. All right, hooligans, we're going to move forward here. Like I said, this next one is FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino says cleaned up video of Jeffrey Epstein alone in his cell at the time of death is to be released. Now, I don't know if they're going to show him jerking it or what exactly is going to happen, but this is supposed to prove that Epstein did kill himself, and the fact that they're working so hard on proving this makes me feel weird. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
Right. There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not. There's video of him killing himself. No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it. So it's right.
Okay, so he's sitting here trying to convince us that Epstein did smoke himself, and we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists. I don't know. We've been covering Dan Bongino, kind of going back and forth on this. A lot of people think that he's compromised. Maybe his family was threatened or something like that. But it's like he's singing a new tune. It's very interesting. Next up, we got Senator Kennedy. Oh, Kennedy, he's so funny. It says they will steal the hair right off your head. They're talking about international students being here to spy for the CCP, as well as other international students who come here and then just decide to break the law while they're here. They're also going to be talking about the United States Court of International Trade and how they had just blocked Trump's tariffs that had happened during the interview. Now, we already know that it's been appealed and all of that, and we got videos on that, but we're doing this in order as they happened. That way we know why they happened, whether or not it could happen again, and we can keep it in mind for the future. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Dan Bongino saying that they got a video that's coming out pretty soon. Tori Wayne left. Really? My dad is ambidextrous, but born left, I think. Broke his hand, so he had to learn with the other. Yeah, I've broke my left hand and had to learn to do things with my right hand. I don't miss that. Not at all. Jay Spray, I wipe left-handed. Me too, buddy. Wiping twins, love that. Yes. Ghostly Dan has always been a Fed. Before his show, he was Secret Service. I never for a second trusted him. Yeah, there's a lot of people that liked him. I never watched him live. I've seen clips on X, but I've never actually watched him live. I don't know. I think they still got people standing in doing his show right now, but it seems like a lot of people have lost trust in Dan Bongino. Pumpkin, I don't care about Epstein. It doesn't deserve so much attention. I just think that the people who preyed on the victims deserve accountability. That's really all I care about. I don't care about a list. I don't care about knowing what he did. I don't want to watch the videos. I don't care about watching him kill himself in a cell. I just think that the bad people who interacted with him and used him as a way to hurt kids and women and other, whoever else was hurt, those people need to be held accountable, and that's all I think about. I don't really think about all the other stuff, releasing paperwork and informing us on what happened. I don't care about any of that. If there was people breaking the law and they were using him to do it, they deserve to go to jail, prison, or whatever. The punishment needs to fit the crime, and that needs to happen, and that hasn't happened yet, and that's the only part that I care about. Everything else is just nonsense. Like this video that's coming out saying Epstein killed himself. Great. But who's going to jail? That's what I want to know. Who's going to jail? Tory Wayne, the victims deserve justice, and I don't want those bad people to do it again to others. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and if there's no accountability, then what's going to stop other people from becoming the new Epstein? Like he was doing terrible things. He was making a ton of money. He was getting influence and stuff because of it, because he's connected to bigwig people. We don't know who because they won't release the list, but we're assuming politicians and world leaders and stuff like that. They even said Prince so-and-so was there. So that happened. Everybody knows about it. Nobody went to jail. Why wouldn't other people replicate this? So I don't know. That's what I worry about. Tree herder, everyone is sus until the list comes out. Yeah. Guess I would use the Epstein list to prevent future crime, not revisit old crimes. I just feel like they need to do something. Doing nothing isn't curing anything. What's up, Plastic Quack? Happy freedom to you. Plastic Quack, Epstein did not kill himself. It's not a lie. He's still alive. That's why the blackmail hasn't come out or anyone arrested. That definitely could be. Because if anybody... Yeah, I guess if they spill the beans, he could always come out with whatever he has hanging over their head. Shroomish Jeff used to break his hand on people's faces. I did. I did. That's why I always had to have it wrapped up and stuff like that, breaking my knuckles. My hands look terrible. I don't even know if you guys could. Yeah, you can't even see it. My knuckles are all scarred up. I got like pieces of tooth between my pinky knuckle and my ring finger. I don't know. Being 17 was hard. What's up, Turbo? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tony Rez? Happy freedom to you. Did he watch it with his eyes closed? It's hard to say. Dingo. If anyone has camera footage from that prison, can you send it to Dan? Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing when you think about what he said out loud. Told to carry smoke and mirrors? Definitely feels that way. Elder Zoomer AI generated. You think the footage, the Epstein footage, is going to be AI generated? That definitely could be. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this because I really think the Epstein stuff is going to be met with excuses of saying it's AI. I've been waiting to see if they actually arrest anybody for the stuff that happened on Epstein Island, for them to turn around and say, no, these accusations against me are false. And the images and the video they have of me were AI generated. And then there'll be this big controversial moment where they'll think harder about regulating AI and a lot less about arresting pedophiles. I've been waiting. I've been saying this for years. Metal Mouth, my fiance and I are left-handed. That's badass, Metal Mouth. Appeal to heaven, you are true right-handed. That's cool. There's not a lot of people that are true, one side or the other. I've been full left-handed my whole life since I was a kid, and everybody always thought it was weird that I was left-handed in writing and stuff. But when you step up to the plate to go bat, to play baseball or softball, or if you go to golf and you're stepping up to be left-handed, people notice that shit big time. Or like when I go sit at a restaurant, I can't just sit wherever. I have to be on the edge of the booth because when I'm eating, I got my elbow all in the walkway and stuff. And if it ain't in the walkway, it's going to be all up in your face while you're trying to eat. And so, yeah, being left-handed, it comes with problems when you're in a right-handed world. Or like a work environment. Most work environments are set up to be right-handed. And so I just got to learn everything backwards. But whatever's whatever. Plastic Quack, I thought none of the cameras worked. Now they suddenly have video. I was thinking the same thing, Plastic Quack. But, you know, they don't want to talk about that. Pumpkin, Epstein was involved in intelligence agencies. We'll never know the truth. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Snooks, pieces of teeth still there? Oh my God. What's really crazy is the person's teeth, the owner of the teeth that are in my hand, he's dead now. He smoked himself. He was a drug addict of sorts. But yeah, crazy sauce. Got a little piece of him right here with me. Tori Wayne, my dad has to eat on my left, so our eating hands don't knock. Yeah, Tori Wayne, that's so funny. Yeah. Jay Spray, his previous bunkie was an Italian mobster, was doing 4 life sentences. One charge was killing a man with a zip tie. Damn, was he locked up with John Wick? How do you kill somebody with a zip tie? I mean, I guess if you use its natural function. I was thinking because you know how the ends are all sharp. It's like just stab somebody with a zip tie. I don't know. I was overthinking it. What's your name? Milk Am? Is that what it is? Either way, happy freedom to you. Anyone paying attention to the Shapeshifter CIF athlete in California? I have not heard anything about it, but I'll look it up after the live. Let me see. Dud, my right hand has a scar across the back. From my middle finger to the outside of my wrist, punched out my friend who was drunk and screaming. Those are rough times, Dudden. Metal Mouth, all my teachers tried to force me to write right-handed when I was in elementary school. It didn't work out too well for them. They gave up after 6 months. Yeah, Metal Mouth, I used to have those problems when I was in school too, and my mom had like strapped me to a chair and made me write my name over and over again with my right hand until it was legible. And I mean, that was such a hard day. I will never forget it. I felt like I had a Bitcoin password that she wanted. She was like whooping my ass, and I was not allowed to get out of this chair. She would force me back into the chair. And after a whole day of doing that shit, she gave up. And I'm still left-handed, but it's not natural anymore. It's to be defiant. Just to be an asshole. Yeah. I don't know. You know, if it was happening like in the, I don't know, 200 years ago, they'd be strapping us to a stake and burning us in the in the town square for being left-handed, screaming, "You're a witch." I don't know. Life's hard. Dingo, shapeshifter because of YouTube? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of habit at this point, but yeah, that's why we call them shapeshifters. Because YouTube's always watching and listening. Lately, we got a suspension from Twitch for using alternative phrases for flamboyant, unlikable individuals. It just makes me more clever. That's all it does. But yeah, they struck us down. I kind of remember what I said, but I can't say it now because they'll come after me. But yeah, Twitch and YouTube, their community guidelines suck ass. What's up, Red Wagon? Happy freedom to you. Red Wagon, you're left-handed too? One of the benefits is you can use a mouse with the right hand and take notes with the left hand. Yes, and I'm actually ambidextrous with the mouse, so I can use both hands, but yes, you are right. Agent O, the zip stab. Yeah, I don't know why I was overthinking that. You just clip the end of a zip tie and just get your celly. Just do them really quick. I don't know. What's up, Daniel? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Sean? Happy freedom to you. How did they move him? Outside video? It could be. I was wondering that too. I was wondering if maybe, like, what if they had a camera in the pod, right? The pod is where all the COs sit while they're looking at the cameras of all the inmates. What if there was a camera in the pod, and the camera in the pod was watching the cameras on the screen, and maybe something like that happened? Or maybe it was like a hallway camera, and that's how they got it. I don't know. But all I know is up until this point, they were saying that the cameras didn't work, that nobody was supervising Epstein when he smoked himself. And now all of a sudden they got videos that's coming out. And so I don't know. There's going to be people yelling World Star in the background and stuff. Wayward, was Diddy ever at Epstein Island? I don't know. I've never heard of a connection between the two, but I wouldn't be surprised at all considering they were running the same kind of little schemey scam thing. Wayward, the victims deserve justice too? Yeah, absolutely. Guess some. Yeah, that's what I mean. Do your celly quick. I'm worried now. I mean, just real quick, you know. J Spray, camera's not working in a jail or a prison. Kind of normal. I mean, I suppose. It depends. Patriot Dad, my older brother was a lefty. See, that's what I keep trying to avoid, is saying lefty, because lefty sounds like a leftist. But I see what you're saying, Patriot Dad. My older brother was left-handed, taught me to play guitar and hit baseball. I can do both, ambidextrous. That's badass, Patriot Dad. I think being ambidextrous is a goal that most people should aim for. Just because nobody's trying to do that, but you're the most efficient if you could. If you do everything you do with your strong hand, right? Grab your strong hand. If you could do everything with your strong hand that you could with your weak hand, you would no longer have a weak hand, which means you are just stronger in general. You are optimized. And so, I don't know. I believe in that kind of stuff. Just cuz. Guess Twitch is nailing a lot of people. I wouldn't worry. Yeah, I don't know. Eventually, Twitch won't be around. And that's why I've tried to tell people on Twitch that they need to go to Kick. Because Kick is exactly like Twitch. It's just green instead of purple. But the problem will solve itself eventually. I've said the same thing to people on Discord. They might as well start getting on the website, because one day somebody will do something stupid and they will delete our Discord, and that will be a sucky day. But we could avoid all that if everybody would just go to the website where they can't turn it off. But that's okay. That's okay. All right, hooligans, we're going to move forward here. Like I said, this next one is Senator Kennedy, and he's hilarious. This one's titled, "They Will Steal the Hair Off of Your Head." Once again, they're talking about international students, how we have a problem with ones that are coming here from the CCP because they are obligated by their government to spy for their government while they're here. He's also going to be talking about international students that come here and decide to break the law, kind of like Mahmoud Khalil. Then, like I said, they're going to mention that the International Trade Court blocked Trump's tariffs, but it was only for a little bit. So all of that will be coming up in this video. But first, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you'd like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat. And like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, screaming goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's get this polled up. Oh, Senator Kennedy. All right, hooligans, hit that like button if you haven't, and let's get into this.
This is a Fox News alert. Trump is cracking down on Chinese students in the United States. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced just moments ago that the Trump administration is going to start revoking the visas of Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. Here to discuss this is huge news, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Senator Kennedy, there have been examples over the years, many of them, of Chinese spies working within the student visa framework. The things happening in all over the country, going back to early 2000s, 2019, just a few months ago, a report out of Stanford. What is this all about tonight?
Well, I have read the reports about what Marco, Secretary Rubio, is doing. Look, I can just tell you how I view it. I welcome international students. I don't welcome international students who come here and break the law. I don't welcome international students who come here and threaten our national security. The Chinese Communist Party has an horrific record of sending students to America to do that. And we do need to be careful. It would be nice if some of our universities, like Harvard, would help us screen these students rather than contribute to the problem. So I support what Secretary Rubio is doing. The simple fact of the matter is this has nothing to do with diversity or inclusion. The Chinese Communist Party will steal the hair off your head. And they hate America. They think America is in decline. They think that all we do is sit around all day and debate whether a mother should be called a birthing person. Meanwhile,
Senator, we just got breaking news.
They're building
Senator,
ships.
Yeah, Senator, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We just got other breaking news. The big news tonight. A federal court just blocked the majority of Trump's tariffs. The Court of International Trade saying he overstepped his authority under an International Emergency Economic Powers Act. This was, I believe, the 3-judge panel. There was a Reagan appointee, a Trump appointee, and a Biden appointee on this particular panel. This was kind of widely predicted among those who study trade closely. So those European tariffs blocked. Senator, your reaction?
You mean that a federal judge has intervened with the other 2 branches' ability to make policy? I'm shocked. That hasn't happened since yesterday. It'll be taken up. It'll be appealed. I think it's pretty clear that the president has tariff authority. Congress gave it to him. Now you can debate whether that was a prudent move or not. But I think it's pretty clear that he has tariff authority.
Yeah.
And,
so this again,
I
this
think
was
it'll be reversed on appeal.
Yeah. So they're going to go to the Supreme Court, Senator. It was a 3-judge panel, 2 Republican appointees on the court, 1 Biden appointee, and it was focused on the use of that IEPA statute. So that's where it was focused. But this is a long way out. This is gonna be challenging.
Well, sooner or later, the Supreme Court is going to have to address this. Those who oppose the executive branch and those who oppose the legislative branch and are seeking recourse in the courts are at some point going to dig up more snakes than they can kill because the judges are going to go ahead.
All right, Senator, I'm so sorry. We're up against a hard break. We appreciate you. We're going to have you on for longer next time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
All right, John Kennedy there. He is hilarious. So that hasn't happened since yesterday. Yeah, exactly. Every day they're blocking the Trump agenda and people just let it happen. The next 2 videos are kind of related to the tariffs. Well, not kind of. They are directly related to the tariffs. And like I said, they just kind of mention it briefly in that video. But the next one is court halt on tariffs. Stunning and surprising. Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream, because I can't ever say what his name is, but he's now Neapolitan Ice Cream, and it's just too bad at this point. Either way, in that video, they're going to be talking about the court that stopped the tariffs. We covered it last week when they were saying that this was probably going to happen. It's the United States Court of International Trade. It's in Manhattan. It's a 3-judge panel. There's no jury or anything like that. 2/3 vote. Stop the tariffs. Like I said last week or the week before, we covered a video with Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream who said that this was probably going to happen. Then it did happen. And then later on, or earlier today, not that long ago, like 2 hours ago, it made it to appeal court and the appeal court had turned it over. But we're covering this in order, like I said before, so we know why it happened, how it happened, and we'll have the knowledge in case it's to happen in the future. But once again, coming up next is court halt on tariffs. Stunning and surprising, says Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about John Kennedy. What's up, Edward? Happy freedom to you. I didn't eat for a day and a half, and I also had 2 energy drinks and 2 bags of M&Ms. Are you just walking around mad, Edward? Because I would be. If that was what I had for the day, I'd be walking around just pissy. Just super pissy. Russell, Kennedy is awesome. I think so too. Jay Spray asked, how many U.S. visas are in China studying in their colleges? I Googled it, and Google's response was there's no specific information available on the number of U.S. students who have visas for school in China. Jay Spray says that means none. I believe it. I believe it. I thought that was interesting. They didn't have any numbers for that. Oh, Edward, you had a whole pizza and 4.5 sausage McMuffins? You're a badass, Edward. I couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. I could do a whole pizza, but I couldn't do the sides on it. Not on top. Tori Wayne, my husband drinks 2 to 3 a day plus 1 to 3 sodas. Yeah. I used to drink a lot of Monsters. When I was at the factory, I used to drink 3 or 4 in a day. And then when I was live streaming the riots and stuff for George Floyd, I was drinking 6 or 7 Monsters in a day. And they have calculators online where you can look up, like, according to like your BMI, how many energy drinks you're supposed to have. I'm supposed to have no more than 2, and I was doing triple that, sometimes even more. The most I've ever drank in a day was 8, I think. 8 Monsters in a day. Now I don't drink any of them. I can't mess with them at all. As soon as I start drinking one, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. And so I got to stay away from energy drinks. They are not good for you. Jay Spray, just drink beer. I would. But you can't drink beer and drive, and you shouldn't drink beer and drive. And sometimes I have to drive. And that's the only excuse I have to not drink beer. Snooks, I can only eat 3 slices of pizza, and they're small. Oh, yeah, I can put a whole large pizza down by myself. Russell, beer does the body good. It does. It does the brain good. Yeah, Trapper, I was putting him down. I was like funding Monster for a little while there. Stoner Mio fucks me up. What is Mio? I've never heard of that. What's up, Kevin? Happy Freedom? You're here in spirit? Well, then how did you type in the chat? Your spirit is strong, Kevin. Metalmouth, now it makes sense why they're sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. The court is based in Manhattan, liberal-ass court. Yeah, one of the judges was by Obama, the other one was by Trump, and I can't remember who the third one was. Some old president that's not around anymore, but I can't remember who it was. And I can't remember if it's a respectable president or not, but some older president picked the third one. But they were saying that they thought this was probably going to happen. And I think that's why the appeal process went so quickly, is because they were kind of expecting this to happen. Too old to care. If the spies are in college students, what are they discovering? We're dumber than we look? Yeah, too old to care. I don't know either. And we covered a video talking about that, and I can't remember if they said there was 400,000 students or 700,000 students here from the CCP, that each one of them is obligated by their government to do surveillance. That's a lot of spies that we have here. But all them dummies are at college. Which is, I know it sounds stupid to say that, but look at what's coming out of the colleges right now. They're just being radicalized. If anything, they're probably learning how oppressed they are. They're going to go back to China and start raising hell. Metal Miles, Senator John Kennedy has probably the best sense of humor I have ever witnessed. I think so too, Metal Mouth. He is just naturally hilarious. What's up, Debo? Happy freedom to you. Crit kiss, all Chinese students on visas are spies. Yeah. Yes, they are. They don't really have a choice, you know, and I'm not trying to excuse their behavior, but they don't really have a choice. So it's they're in a category where you can assume that they're spies because they're obligated by their government. So whether they want to or not, their whole point of being here, whether it's their personal agenda or not, is to do surveillance. And so, yeah. Stoner, I stopped drinking Mountain Dew in middle school when the kids were saying it makes your pee-pee small. I remember that, Stoner. I don't know if we went to the same high school or not, but I remember people saying that. I think it's yellow 5 or something like that. They're like, if it's got yellow 5, it makes your wiener little. And you're like, what? And you just threw the pop out like immediately. Just spit it out. Like, well, I don't want those problems. The next thing you know, you're sitting on your fat nuggets on the bench at the park. You know, there's no winning this life. I'll tell you that. Trapper, caffeine seems less addictive. Monsters and other brands use sugar and taurine. Yeah. Yeah, and Monsters are, like, addictive. Like, I don't know if all shit's like that, but I swear to God, Monsters are addictive. Even when I go into, like, the gas station now, I get coffee or I'll get orange juice. I've been drinking orange juice like crazy lately. But I'll see those Monsters. I'm so tempted to get 2 for $4 or 2 for $6 or whatever they are. And I'm like, no, because it tastes metallic. It's like you're drinking metal and drinking mercury. And then, like I said, every time I drink one, I feel like I'm having a heart attack now. What's up, Electric Hammer? Happy freedom to you. Tom Homan, or Tim Pool had Tom Homan on today. Said there are 800 U.S. in college in China. Wait a minute, what? They said there are 800 U.S. in college in China. Oh, so they have 800 U.S. students in China right now? Interesting. Interesting. That's nothing compared to how many of them there are here. Oh, I appreciate you, Debo. What's up, J-Dog? Happy freedom to you. Trapper, caffeine does not bother me to quit. Sugar sucks. Yeah. Yeah. Tori Wayne, I can confirm Mountain Dew does not make your manhood smaller. My husband drinks a lot. Maybe it makes it bigger. Well, don't say that. We're going to be rotting our teeth out drinking Mountain Dew. Measuring things. You always wonder why men walk around with measuring tape in their pockets. There's 2 reasons. 1, we always got shit to do. And 2, we got to make sure we're not losing any length here. What's up, XB? Happy freedom to you. I think it was Reagan. I think you're right, XB. Yeah, I think the 3rd judge was picked by Reagan. UX, are you biggest on Rumble or Kick or Twitch or YouTube? YouTube. Probably YouTube. What the hell is your name? HU. We're talking about America. We're not talking about Israel or Palestine. I think you're on the wrong live, bud. It's America all day. What's up, Bloopy? Happy freedom. What's up, Dirtbike Freedom? Happy freedom to you. The poor nuggets. I know. What's up, Nobilis? Happy freedom. 7 Monster energy drinks per day. It's too much. Don't do it. Roll it back. What's up, Blue Crow? Happy freedom to you. Wayward Mountain Dew and chip clips. I'm in. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to sell complimentary Mountain Dew with every 6-pack of chip clips you get. All right, hooligans, we're going to move forward. Like I said, these next 2 videos are about the tariffs. We might just play these back to back because they kind of are all about the same deal. We'll see how it goes. This first one's titled Court Halt on Tariffs. Stunning and surprising, says Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream.
Senior.
All right. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano, you warned us a couple of weeks ago, I think, on this show that this was coming and that the Trump administration was going to lose based on the reasons that the justices gave, or the judges.
This is a unique court. This is a court without a jury. It's a federal court that sits in panels of 3s. In this case, one of the 3 was appointed by Ronald Reagan, one by Barack Obama, one by Donald Trump. Their ruling, Mark, was nothing short of stunning and surprising. They found that the United States is not in an emergency situation with respect to the economy, as the president declared, and they found that the Congress doesn't have the authority to give the president the power to impose tariffs, and they found the statute on which the president relied doesn't even mention or authorize tariffs. So all the tariffs are negated. They gave the government 10 days to do the negation, because this is an enormously complex economic matter now, because the tariffs are paid and collected all around the world.
So here's the question, though, then, because obviously the administration immediately appealed. You said there is a special appeals court that this kind of case would go to.
Correct.
Before it would get to the Supreme Court.
Correct.
But I mean, who are these judges to say, I don't believe you in an emergency? Who declares an emergency if not the President of the United States?
Great question. The statute itself defines an emergency. So Congress said, here's what an emergency is: a sudden and unexpected event that adversely affects national security or economic prosperity. What did the president say the emergency was? The imbalance of trade. How long have we had an imbalance of trade? Since 1934. So it's obviously doesn't meet the definition in the statute. I know a lot of our friends and a lot of people watching now are going to say, why are 3 unelected judges interfering with the ability of the president of the United States to negotiate economic deals for American industry? They're not. They're doing their job of making sure the Congress stays within the confines of the Constitution and the president stays within the confines of the Constitution.
So from a next step standpoint, because obviously the president's going to say and the administration is going to say we are in an economic emergency when you combine the trade deficit with China, using the results of that trade deficit to build its military, to expand its power base. But then you also have 18 countries right now, 180 some countries coming to want to do international foreign trade deals.
Correct.
And this hinders the president's ability to conduct foreign policy, which the Supreme Court hates.
Mark, if I may, this more than hinders it, this undermines it. I mean, why would Ursula von der Leyen, who runs the EU, even be negotiating with President Trump now? Because all those tariffs are off the board. Technically, they're still there for the next 10 days. But the administration, unless the appellate court immediately enjoins this International Court of Trade, which I don't think they'll do, the administration has 10 days in which to wind down the tariffs. So I don't know. You know, I'm not an economist. I don't know what happens with these negotiations that they're in the middle of. The president had a sword of Damocles hanging over the head of the people with whom he's negotiating. That sword is now gone.
So, okay, so you've said there's a special court of appeals this would go to, or do they go directly to the Supreme Court? This seems to be an emergency case where the Supreme Court might want to weigh in.
You could count on one hand the times that the Supreme Court has reached down to a trial court and taken a case and bypassed the intermediate appellate court. I don't think they'll do that. The appellate court is a circuit court of appeals for the federal circuit, meaning it hears appeals from these unique courts that only deal with governmental matters. And in this court, the defendant is always the government. This is the equivalent of a circuit court of appeals. It sits in Washington, D.C. I don't know how quickly they're going to rule.
Is it a liberal court or a...
I can't even tell you that. And honestly, these 3 judges that ruled last night, I didn't even know who they were until we did the research when all of this
and 2 were appointed by Republicans, and it was unanimous.
Yes, this is a court that is well below the radar. It only deals with these international economic matters, and 99% of what it does doesn't make the front pages. This one is top of the fold.
Information. Truth.
All right, so like I said, that was Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream there, explaining why the courts are ruling against the tariffs, right? When the tariffs were put up, it was under the perception that there was an emergency going on, but it doesn't meet the qualifications of it being an emergency, or it doesn't meet the definition of an emergency. So that's why they tried to knock down the tariffs. Now we're going to get right into this next video because, like I said, it did not last very long. That court knocked the tariffs down. So it went right to appeals court, just like Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream said that was going to probably happen, and it did. And so this next one is Federal Court of Appeals granting emergency stay to allow Trump's tariffs to proceed.
Hey, John, that's right. Some breaking news just in the last hour that the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit is granting the administration's request for an emergency stay. Essentially, what this means is that at least temporarily, all tariffs can remain in place in spite of that ruling just last night. Now, the counsel for the plaintiffs already out with a statement saying they believe this is merely a procedural step and that ultimately they are confident that the Federal Circuit will deny the government's motion and allow the ruling to move forward, which would mean the tariffs, at least many of them, would have to be lifted in the meantime. Now, this is all temporary. The plaintiffs have until June 5th, 1 week from today, to respond. Then the court will ultimately decide again on that longer term stay. The White House, this is a win for them, but they're also sort of seeming unbowed here, knowing that they have some other options if this one doesn't prove successful for them. Take a listen here to White House Trade Advisor Peter Navarro just out here on the driveway a few minutes ago.
The court told us, they didn't all but tell us, they told us, go do it another way. So you can assume that even if we lose, we will do it another way.
So looking for other options that they know are out there if they need to find them. Then finally, John, one other piece of news here from the White House today is Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell was here meeting with the president at the president's invitation. The Fed saying in a readout after that meeting that the two men discussed growth, employment, and inflation, but that Powell did not discuss any expectations for monetary policy, except essentially to say that the Fed will remain data dependent as always and focused on its dual mandate. We also heard from the White House after that that the president told the Fed chairman personally and directly in this private meeting that he believes it's a mistake not to cut rates. So both men sort of having a chance there to air privately a lot of what we've heard from both of them publicly.
Okay. So tariffs back on the table. They're back in play again. Maybe temporary, maybe not. Either way, let's see where we're at here. Next up, Diddy trial update. It's titled former personal assistant Mia takes a witness stand. It's just an update on what's going on with the Diddy trial. Still nothing too damning coming out. Everything suggests that he's a terrible person, but not involved in human trafficking. That doesn't mean he wasn't. We all have our own feelings about Diddy, but they haven't proven human trafficking yet, at this point at least. Either way, we're going to hop in the chat real quick, see what you hooligans think about them trying to take down the tariffs, the United States Courts of International Trade, and then the appeal court turn around and, like I said, put tariffs back in play. Russell, tariffs are working though. Yeah, the tariffs are working. And so, I don't know, they must have got bent out of shape about it in Manhattan, or maybe they really did just knock it down because of a technicality. When we covered that video last time with Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream, he was saying that there was a good chance that they were going to stop the tariffs because the tariffs were put in place as a declaration of emergency, but the trade situation has been the same since, I don't remember what they said, since like 63 or 53 or something like that. So it's been a long time. It's been like, a long time, like 70 years or some shit that we've had these problems. So because of that, it's not by definition an emergency. And so I think it's just a technicality that got them stopped, but they were not stopped very long. Like I said, when we covered that video a week or two ago with Judge Neapolitan Ice Cream, which was like the first video with him that we showed, because generally when I see this guy, I don't want to hear him sit there and talk for 15 minutes and all of that shit. But when we put that on, he said that this was going to happen, that the tariffs were put up saying it was an emergency, that the trade court was probably going to stop them because it doesn't meet the definition of an emergency. And then like in that video that we had covered, not the last one, but the one before that, he was saying that it is stopped by the trade court and that it would go to appeals or it would go to the Supreme Court, but it was unlikely to go to the Supreme Court, most likely would go to appeals and be able to move forward. And as soon as it hit the appeals court, they moved it forward. They put it back in play. And so I think that they were prepared for this. Maybe it's a part of the agenda as a whole. Maybe they put it out there that way as a way to get things started. They knew eventually that the trade court was going to have a problem with it because of technicalities. and that once they had a problem with it, if they decided to stop the tariffs, they would go to appeal. They had their appeal all ready to go. So as soon as it got stopped by the court, they put the appeal in, boom, now it's back in play. They might have other tricks up their sleeve. I don't know, but I know every time Trump tries to do anything, judges stand in the way of it. And at least in this case, it didn't last very long. They were only stopped for like 24 hours, and it didn't affect anything because they can't move that quickly. So as far as I know, everything has had tariffs on it for the last 24 hours, just because things hadn't gone into effect yet. I think they said he had like 9 days or 10 days to stop the tariffs unless the appeal went through, and it wasn't even 24 hours later and the appeal went through. So they're trying to stop and stand in the way of what Trump was doing, but in this case, they were able to push through. Guess diesel at 283 regular and 254 here in North Texas. Whatever it is, it's working. Yep, I agree. Edward with Diddy in jail, baby oil's going out of business. You're probably right. Snooks, I only show up because you're hot looking. I'm shallow like that. I appreciate your honesty, Snooks. Thanks so much, Trapper, for that $5 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Trapper. Thank you so much for the support. Says, happy older day, Patriot Dad. Always a Gen X, getting older each day. Rejoice in the constant knowledge that each day will continue to bring copious amounts of BS. Happy birthday, you're a badass, Trapper. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Patriot Dad, for that $5 donation over on Rumble. Thank you, Patriot Dad. I really appreciate the help and all the support. It says, thank you for the birthday wishes, Trapper, and all my friends here. This is a great community Jeff created here. Been here since the Dread days. You're awesome, Patriot Dad. Thank you. Holy, thank you so much, Stoner, for that $20 donation over on Rumble. You're a badass, Stoner. Thank you so much for the support. It says, oh snap, happy birthday, Patriot Dad. You hooligans are so awesome. What's up, Kirk Allen? Happy freedom to you. It's cool seeing all of you hooligans migrate over to Rumble. Stoner, this rain needs to chill out. I'm sick of mowing the lawn every 4 days. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people feeling that way. We were getting a lot of rain here back to back in the Midwest. And now, same thing. Everybody's bitching about mowing the lawn and stuff. Metal Mouth, to quote G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. That's it's a struggle to know what's going on. Thank you so much, Guessum, for that $5 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Guessum. Thank you so much. It says, for Klaus Weight Loss Center, Jesus loves us. I will let him know. I will let him know. Now, when I get off the live, I'm like, come here, you big fat boy. I'm doing stuff like that. I'm like, everyone's calling you fat on the live. Yeah, he's a real big Klaus. What's up, Disco? Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin, where's Klaus? Oh, he's around here somewhere. When it's warm out like this, he just lays around. If he runs by, I'll snatch him up. It has been dead over on Kick. What is going on with Kick? Johnny creating a critical foundation of court precedent to move forward in the future. Yeah. I think YouTube tried to censor us. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I got this notification saying the chat was disconnected and then it was successfully reconnected. But my numbers are fine. I don't have any internet problems. So the only time that happens is when pissed off lefties and people like that come and report the live. And so I think we were just being monitored by employees of YouTube, making sure we weren't being too naughty of hooligans. So sick of the damn censorship. So sick of it. Ghostly probably eating somewhere. Yeah, Yeah, well, you know, he's a big Klaus. Stoner, he needs one of those running wheels. I agree. I wanted to get him one of those running wheels, but all the reviews say they're so loud. And I do not like to be the loud upstairs neighbor. I do not. I got buff toes because I tiptoe around the house. I don't even put my feet down when I walk. So I don't know. I don't know if they have quiet versions of that or not, but Klaus needs a Stairmaster. He needs something. Thank you so much, Snooks, for that $20 donation over on Rumble. I appreciate you, Snooks. Thank you so much for everything you do, and I appreciate the support. It says, for Patriot Dad's birthday and because you're hot, Jeff. Thank you, Snooks. I appreciate you. Appeal to heaven, leave YouTube. We convert YouTubers into Rumble viewers. We were cutting YouTube out of everything, but it helps everything grow over on Rumble. Keeping the window open to YouTube, giving people a way to liberate themselves. Trapper, the wheels are loud. See, and that's what a lot of people in the reviews are saying. Bays, could you imagine a giant hamster ball for him? He'd be knocking stuff over. He'd be roughing me up on the live. Come roll over here, knock my lights over and stuff. Joel the Carrot Klaus isn't fat. He's big boned. He needs to go on a walk. I know that. Klaus weight loss. Yeah, Trapper. He's a big boy. I know. I've been playing into it too. When I go to pick him up, I'm like, like doing that. I'm like, Jesus loves us when I'm picking him up, just to hurt his feelings. Edward, it's 100 degrees in Utah. We need rain. It sounds like it. I'd be dead at 100 degrees. It'd be too hot to have a funeral. Oh, I appreciate you, Xterra. What's up, Junie? Happy freedom to you. Godzilla, censorship is a necessity of liars, I suppose. Happy freedom to you, Godzilla. What's up, Rhonda? Happy freedom to you. Get the cat wheel. It's not that loud. 2 of my 3 cats love it. That's a pretty good review. You know, I'll check it out. See if I can find a quiet one on Amazon. We'll put it on the wish list. Sounds like a train going down the tracks. You're kind of talking me out of it, Rhonda. I don't know. I've never had a complaint in the 8 years I've lived here. We'll see. It's a good reason to have a complaint, I suppose. You're like, I almost said something real hilarious. We'll have to wait till Saturday to talk about running trains. Either ways, next up, like I said, Diddy trial follow-up here. It's titled, Former Personal Assistant Mia Takes the Witness Stand.
John Combs.
All right, hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Joint Combs sex trafficking trial. Combs' former personal assistant is on the stand, known only as Mia because she wants to stay anonymous. She's already testified that Combs physically and sexually abused her. Combs watched on as she testified that when she stayed at his homes, there were no locks allowed on doors, and she had to ask permission to leave. Mia also testifying that she once went 5 straight days without sleep while working for Combs. Watching it all, Combs' mother and his 3 sons all arriving at the courthouse this morning for day 12 of the trial. ABC's Rena Roy with today's developments from Lower Manhattan.
David and Lauren, prosecutors allege that Sean Diddy Combs used his power and his money to run a criminal enterprise and coerce women into sex. And they're hoping that witnesses who were once in his inner circle will help prove that. Celebrity stylist and friend of Cassie Ventura, Deontay Nash, walking into a Manhattan courthouse today, facing more cross-examination from the defense team of Sean Diddy Combs. Nash, who was subpoenaed to testify, detailing multiple instances of alleged violence and control he says he witnessed in Ventura and Combs' relationship. He testified he often saw Ventura bruised up and that he once witnessed Combs beating Ventura until her head hit the edge of the bed frame, drawing blood. He told jurors Ventura confided in him how Combs pressured her into unwanted sex with male prostitutes and that he knew her to spend nights with Combs in hotel rooms against her will, including one time on her 29th birthday when Combs allegedly told her, "I do all this for you and you can't do this one thing for me," apparently referring to her not wanting to participate in a freak-off. Nash said another time Combs threatened to release sex tapes of Ventura, telling the jury that Ventura said she didn't want to have sex with those guys in the tapes, but she did it because, quote, Puff wanted her to. And he says once she was so scared of Combs that she was hiding out at a hotel in Beverly Hills, and when he showed up, she wanted to go over the balcony to escape from him.
Why is this important to the prosecution's case? It's important because it speaks to the human trafficking due to force and coercion.
The defense questioning Nash's recollection about certain incidents, including that alleged bloody beating. And when Nash testified that Combs controlled everything about Ventura's appearance, defense attorneys suggested it was a business decision rather than an element of coercion. Combs' team has conceded that he was abusive, but that the violence was due to drugs and jealousy, and not about him forcing her into sex. A former assistant of Combs taking the stand under the pseudonym Mia, telling jurors about the times Combs allegedly forced himself onto her sexually. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges against him and has maintained that all sexual encounters were consensual. In Lower Manhattan, Rena Roy for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay. Now, like I said, they still have not proven human trafficking. They just proved that he's a terrible person in general. And every time we do an update on Diddy, that's all they ever prove. They're just like, yeah, he's a bad friend. He's bad to have relationships with. He uses drugs. He drinks too much. He doesn't understand boundaries. He's forceful and forward. And he's just a terrible person to be around and a terrible person to do business with. Great. That's great. But they're supposed to be trying to get him on human trafficking, and they're not doing that. So I don't know. We'll see. One of these days, something's got to come out. I can't believe that the arrest was such a crazy experience, right? He was fleeing. They found baby oil. There was supposedly a man in a cage in the basement. Where's his testimony? You know, there's just a pink cocaine and all this stuff. Oh, my God. It was so crazy when he got arrested. And then now they're in the trial, and they're just like, yeah, he's a bad person. Well, yeah, we know that. We've known that for decades. So human trafficking, they're like, no, not really. I'm like, okay, it seems like a lot of money being wasted bringing him to court for human trafficking. They were saying that there was like more than 1,000 victims, and nobody can prove that he's actually doing anything that wrong. He's just a bad person. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know if the people that got dirt are not showing up because they're afraid. I don't know if the feds really did go in there and destroy all the evidence when his house was raided. That way there is no evidence of that level of wrongdoing. I don't know. But it kind of seems like this trial's not moving forward very much. Either way, next up, we got the last little bit of the news. And it's an interesting one. It's titled, Pastor Claims Antifa Militants, and I wish they would stop saying that. That shit is glorifying Antifa when you're calling them militants. They used to call themselves the People's Army back in 2020. They're just a bunch of drug addicts playing ninja. They're not militants. I hate that. Pastor claims Antifa militants threw water balloons filled with piss at worship event. The mayor of Seattle came out and said it's the Christians' fault that there was violence last Saturday at that worship event. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Diddy. Diddy did it. Russell, I don't think he'll be found guilty. I don't think so either. Not unless something crazy comes out, because right now these stories just paint him as a bad person. Guess we raiding or can I cook? Well, you can cook, but we are going to have to raid. We're going to have to find somebody better to raid. That woman yesterday, Lily or whatever, that was a mess. That was a mess. We'll figure it out. We got a little bit. We still got all the fun stuff and pledge, and we got all that stuff before we got to worry about a raid. But we got to do better than we did yesterday. Yesterday was trash. It was 2 days in a row where we raided to somebody that was ending the live. But yesterday, Lily was kind of shitty about it and ended the live. And so, I don't know. We'll find someone better today, though. I wonder if Lumpy's live. Lumpy Potato. Well, we already raided him a couple days ago. We'll find somebody. What's up, Sage Pup? Happy freedom to you. Stoner, I do like that Lily chick. I like some of the things she says on X. I've never heard her be as racist as she was yesterday. She was just saying, like, she was talking about funding the Aryan nation. Like, she was saying crazy stuff, and I was like, okay, you know what? Probably not the right person to raid here. Some stuff she says is good, and she's on fire about certain things, but other times I think she just acts racist to try and draw those kind of viewers. And I don't really like being around racist people. I just think there's so many better things to hate people for than their skin color. People are so fucking stupid. If you watch a person for 10 minutes, you'll come up with 100 reasons why they're a full-blown dumbass. And so, like, I mean, you guys watch me every day. I'm sure I just proved that point, right? So, like, you could hate people for way better reasons than their skin color. You know, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it, but we'll figure it out when it's time for the raid. Electric Hammer, raid Tim Pool and get your name out there. I've interacted with Tim Pool before. We were talking about Magic cards and Pokemon cards on X. We could see if we could raid Tim Pool. We try to raid people that have lower numbers, though. People who are like 100 or less viewers in the chat. And we try to raid them, and that way we're like building community and stuff like that. Raiding Tim Pool might work. We try to raid Salty Cracker, but Salty Cracker doesn't. I don't know. When I tried to do it, it said that we couldn't raid that channel. And I don't know if he has it turned off or what. I wrote him on X telling him to fix his Rumble channel so we could raid him, but never got a response. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Ghostly. Skin has nothing to do with it. It's culture. Yeah, but it's the labels that come with it. You know, it's like you could be mad at people who are trashy, right? Nobody wants to be around trashy people. Only trashy people want to be around trashy people. You got nice things, you don't want trashy people around you. But people don't say it like that. They say it by skin color. And that's what fucks it up, is because of that. Because you don't have to be racist. You can be mad at people behaving like pieces of shit, but it's not a skin color thing. You know, like when you're in the ghetto, you're going to see the same kind of bullshit that you're going to see in the trailer park. Right? And it might be different skin colors, but we're talking about trashy people versus civilized individuals. And the people like Lily, right? She don't talk about it like that. She's directly talking about skin color, and I just don't like that. And that's just my opinion. You guys watch whatever you want. It doesn't bother me. I just don't want to be associated with that stuff. I'll check it out, Metal Mouth. I'll pull it up in a little bit. Like I said, we got a little while until it's time for the raid. So we got time to find people and whatnot. Let me see. And like I said yesterday, eventually we will have a list of people that we'll just start raiding regularly instead of having to find someone new over and over again. Yeah, Metal Mouth. They're not live right now, but we got time, so we'll see. Appeal to Heaven, Prison Culture. Let me see. Oh, I'm confusing you guys. Barry Cunningham. I'll pull his stuff up too. Oh, he's live right now. He's got big numbers though. That's not huge numbers. It's not like Salty Cracker numbers, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Reading through the chat. I'll look it up, Sly Dog. Yeah. Stoner Salty has it disabled. Yeah, I don't know why he has it disabled. Edward, it's about people being assholes, not colors. Yeah. Tori Wayne, it's like hating all women or hating all men. They don't ask to be that. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that get like that too. I try to stay away from that stuff. I see that stuff a lot on TikTok. I'll be scrolling on TikTok just seeing what's out there because I try to look at all platforms. I don't look on Instagram. Don't really look on Facebook either, but I try to look at other platforms to get a mix of you know, what's out there, how people are behaving and stuff. But every once in a while I'll be on TikTok and it'll be some fat bitch talking about how all men are pieces of shit and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'll scroll, and the very next video will be like, I think all men should die. And I'm scrolling next and they're like, we should take away men's right to vote. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I have to leave the platform because it's just a bunch of man-hating bullshit. But at the same time, every time a female officer fucks up, everybody's in the chat going, oh, we shouldn't let women be cops. And so, I don't know, that hate's out there, but I try not to participate in it. Snugs, but Salty doesn't interact with his chat either. Yeah, I don't know. Most people don't interact with their chat. I have a lot of people who are shitty to me on a regular basis, and they'll just be like, stay small, Jeff. And I'm like, you only talk to me like that because I actually talk to you in the chat. If I just ignored your ass in the chat, you wouldn't even feel brave enough to say that shit to me. That's the way it goes. What's up, Nana? Happy freedom to you. Nana, just finished cooking and eating fried catfish. Cleaned up, and now I'm ready for a Rumble raid. That's awesome, Nana. Kirk Kiss, time for a martini or no? Oh, it's always time for a martini. Base the diddler. Diddle me this, Batman. I wonder what they're going to do with Diddy, because I only know of the human trafficking charges. They say there's a long list of charges, but the only one they ever talk about is human trafficking. So I wonder what he'll get. I don't think he's going to get innocent. I think he'll get probably innocent on human trafficking, but I wonder what those other charges are. What's up, FEMA region? No, I don't know what we were talking about. It's all good. Hair Juicer, is Pleb Media on Rumble? He should be on Rumble. He's not live, and he hasn't been live for a month, but we'll check him when it's time to raid. Hooligans are cracking me up. Patriot Dad Salty only interacts with donations $5 or more. You might not get a shout out if Rumble timer runs out. Yeah. Disco, I think bringing prostitutes across state lines counts as human trafficking, and they might get him on that. Yeah, but right now they're saying that everything that happened was consensual. Almost every one of these videos that we cover at the very end, they all say that Diddy's claims is that he's innocent and that all sexual encounters were gave full consent or something like that. So they'd have to prove that he was like forcing them to come across state lines. I don't know. They sounded a lot more confident when they went and arrested him versus how they sound now. Agent O, you got some Oreo cookies? Heck yeah. What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom to you. Cheeky Chops, did you try a cookie? I did not. I'm going to make a video because I don't want to eat on the live. I'm weird about that kind of stuff. But I'm going to make a video, Cheeky Chops, and I'll upload it and I'll tag you in it. Steve S. He used people on company payroll to move sex workers and drugs across state lines. Yeah, I don't know. directly come out and said they found any evidence of human trafficking. If it's willing, then it's not human trafficking. I think. I don't know. We'll see, because we're staying up to date with the Diddy stuff, so we will see how it turns out. All right, hooligans, we're going to move forward. Like I said, this next one is the last little bit of the news before we get into the fun stuff. Pastor claims Antifa militants threw water balloons filled with urine at worship event, which is nothing compared to what they've done in the past. All right, hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Russell Johnson is the lead pastor of the Pursuit Northwest Church, and he helped organize both events in Seattle, and he joins us now. Pastor, it's good to see you tonight. Tell us what you saw and heard when things began to develop into chaos and unrest.
Yeah, you know, it was crazy. It started on Saturday with a worship event in Cal Anderson Park. And that event has, of course, been labeled by the media as some sort of anti-LGBT type rally, and it wasn't. That event offered free haircuts to kids, free bike giveaways, free groceries for the community, free prayer for people who were in need of it, and then it also incorporated a worship element at the end of that outreach. And that was when we were swarmed by hundreds of Antifa militants, and I'll only correct one thing in the reporting of your story. They weren't throwing water balloons. They were throwing water balloons filled with urine at Christians who stood in the park and were assaulted for the high crime of worshiping Jesus in a public space. So that happened on Saturday, and then the mayor followed it up. An hour after that event ended, police officers were hospitalized. Good church people were injured. He followed that up with a press statement blaming the church for the violence and saying that we are advocating values that are antithetical to Seattle's values. Yeah. So at that moment, Pastor, I decided...
Yeah, Pastor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but a local Fox reporter spoke to one of the protesters to give viewers some context about where they're coming from, about what exactly they took issue with. Check this out.
Today was a very good example of two sides of people trying to be heard. On one side, I saw a lot of hatred. These people that tell us they love us are showing us the opposite.
She's dressed like a rabbit with a slit eye thing. I don't really get that, but you heard her point that you guys hate them. They feel put upon, and they were just expressing themselves.
Yeah, you know, Antifa is made up of petulant children who are grievance mongers, who decide to perpetuate violence against people that they disagree with. And of course, in a place like Seattle, they are coddled and supported by people like Mayor Bruce Harrell. Their voices are amplified by liberal news outlets like the Seattle Times. And in doing so, it creates a perfect storm that results in violence against people of faith, police officers, and others. And so after the mayor put out his statement and blamed us for the violence, I said we're taking the rally to the front steps of City Hall. And that's exactly what we did on Tuesday. And similar things happened. Antifa was out in force. They bloodied and beat up good church people who stood in line to try to get into a rally to sing hymns and worship songs and pray for the direction of the city. And the mayor put out a second statement, even worse than the first. And he said, well, the only reason you're rallying at City Hall is because you are opposed to the idea that I am biracial. I mean, it's a clown show with these leftist agitator-supporting politicians who are so out of touch with, I think, a wide swath of their constituents. And I think Mayor Bruce Harrell terminated his political career by releasing those statements. There was a show of force. Thousands came out to City Hall.
Yeah, well, I scanned the crowd in the videos that I got access to, and it was a very diverse crowd. I mean, I don't understand the biracial comment at all, because there seemed to be a lot of Hispanic folks there. There were some African-American folks, white people, young, old, a lot of families. Part of what the rally was about, I thought, was the concern about the transgenderizing our youth, correct? Wasn't that part of it?
Yeah, and it included testimonies from parents. It included testimonies from people who have detransitioned after succumbing to trans ideology. And it was shared in the context of uplifting, hopeful. God can change anything. Jesus has the power to transform your life. So it wasn't this, Westboro Baptist hateful rhetoric. It was people sharing a hopeful, optimistic outlook on what it looks like when God begins a work in your life.
Are Christians welcome in Seattle, in your view, to publicly express their views if they're traditionally held?
No, clearly not. And in fact, the mayor put that in his statement. He said in the future, he is going to deny religious groups the ability to pull permits to hold similar worship-themed events in public places.
Well,
which
he
is,
said
by
he's
the
a
way,
Christian.
now.
Yeah, but he says, look, I'm a Christian, and he said First Amendment rights do need to be upheld, and that's why you were able to go to the park. That was a park that had been dedicated in some way to the LGBTQ cause, and that kind of made them upset. But you got the permit to do it where you did it, and it wasn't even your first choice. I know that's too much information for most people, but he's pushing back on you. He said they did get to speak, they did have 2 rallies, and now they're whining about it, basically.
Yeah, after Antifa hospitalized people, after people got hit in the face with urine-filled balloons, after Antifa members performed lewd sex acts in front of children getting free haircuts. Yes, after paying a massive price for the high crime of exercising our First Amendment rights, yes, we were allowed to have some sort of event. And the mayor is so out of touch with the people. And you're right, that rally was super diverse, because here's what happened. When we announced that we were taking this to the front steps of City Hall, I got inundated with emails and texts and DMs from people who are not Christian and not conservative, who were outraged at the mayor's response, who said, you know what, we're going to come stand with Christians at City Hall because we believe in the First Amendment.
Well, this is what Seattle voted for. So you had the demilitarized zone, you had the Chaz, you had all this stuff. This is what the people of Seattle voted for. It's a beautiful city, spectacular natural resources, beautiful. But this cannot continue. Pastor, thank you for sharing your story. We'll stay on this.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Okay. So this is kind of the second time we've covered this event. We did earlier in the week. We covered a video where Antifa was getting put on their head by Seattle police. It was at that event, that Christian event there. Of course, the mayor of Seattle comes out and says, oh, no, it was the Christians' fault that there was violence at that event. Oh, so the Christians made them fill up the piss balloons and start throwing them? Because they've been doing that a long time, way before this Christian event was planned. So I don't know. And then to have Seattle mayor come out and say, well, their views of them preaching the gospel and all of that kind of stuff doesn't align with Seattle. That's an interesting statement to say out loud. So I don't know. Seattle getting back to their old ways. Again, more symptoms that we got a spicy summer coming. Next up, we're getting into the fun stuff. We're going to be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne. And we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled Caroline Levitt telling us how she really feels. And our official funny video of the day was provided by Stoner. And it's titled Your Safety Video of the Day. All of that's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat. See what you hooligans think with Antifa clashing with these Christians out here in Seattle. Snooks. Trump rally tomorrow, Pennsylvania, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for reminding me, Snooks. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a very busy day. Guess have friends in Seattle and Portland. Feel sorry for them? Yeah, me too. There's a lot of hooligans that live out there. It's not a safe place. Edward, you can't preach God values to people trying to kill you. Yeah. Well, and they're anti-God. They've always been that way. Always getting bent out of shape at people loving God. Edward, the new press secretary, is hot and probably knows me. She might, Edward. She might. Thank you so much, Cricket Kiss, for that $10 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Cricket Kiss. Thank you so much for the help and the support. Says, food for our boys. Fine. Just a snack then. Well, thank you, Cricket Kiss. I really appreciate it. Plastic Quack, fuck Antifa. Yep. Disco, how do they get the pee in their balloons? Russell says that they must have little wieners. That's the only way they're able to do it. So I'm not exactly sure. I was kind of wondering that too. And then I was thinking, I bet girls can't put pee in balloons. I don't know. Like, I never would have thought those thoughts if the damn news wasn't talking about what it was talking about. All the girls are trying to think now. They're like, I could if I want to. I could pee in a balloon. It's not a challenge. I'm just saying. What's up, Roy? Happy freedom to you. The mayor and governor are not true Christians, or are not Christians. Yeah. No, not if they're getting all bent out. Not if they're claiming that the Christians were the ones bringing violence against Antifa. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Antifa is violent. I like how they say Antifa militants and then claim that the Christians are violent. Like, just, it just doesn't make any sense. Metal Mouth Klaus says a Chunkimus Maximus. He is Mr. Captain Beefy over here. Joel DeCare, I doubt the shapeshifters filled those balloons. Nah, they cut their spout off early on. Done. Tell Klaus, Mom meow from me. Klaus, you hear that? No, he did. His ears flipped around. He's giving me satellite ears right now. Ghostly Klaus can feel us watching, I swear. I think he can. He somehow in his little Klaus brain understands when I'm working versus when I'm not working. Because I sit here all damn day working on the website, working on merch, communicating with the hooligans and all kinds of stuff. And when we're not live, he will be on the desk. He'll hang out. He's meowing his face off. He sits here on Klaus Tower and it's all good. But man, when the camera's on, he gets all shy and doesn't want to squeak very loud and all this stuff. He is a very talkative cat and he's got stage fright. Now, I don't know how he knows when the camera's on. Crick, is Klaus out of food? Or maybe I dreamt it. No, he's got food. He's got lots of food. We just cracked open his third case of Fancy Feast. Because Donna Sparks sent him, oh man, it was like Fancy Feast for Christmas, Fancy Feast for Thanksgiving, Fancy Feast for my birthday. He was stocked up. He had like 90 cans of Fancy Feast. Like, holy. We just cracked open his last case here. So he's got like 30 cans to go and he's going to be out. Pumpkin, they could have used a funnel. I mean, I guess, but then the balloons wouldn't break if you're not like, filling them up. Crick Kiss, peeing in a balloon seems messy. Can I just buy some pre-made? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Never thought this hard about peeing in a balloon. Stoner, you pee in a bottle, put it in a balloon. Let's see. Put the balloon on the bottle, flip it over, tie it off when it's full. I could see that. You sound like you've done this before, Stoner. Maybe you know. What's up, Captain Seamus? Happy freedom to you. Crick Kiss, a funnel? That's the easy part. It's the desire I lack. Yeah, I've never really thought about peeing in a balloon. Based. Hand me the funnel. Yeah. Tori Wayne, I can't pee in a balloon. I mean, now we're all trying it. We're all thinking too hard about this. Edward, what about equality? Women have penises too. That's what they say on the left coast. Yeah, that's rough stuff. Tori Wayne found out our cat is an orange Egyptian Is it Mao? Look into that breed. Klaus may be one. I will look it up. See what I can find. I don't really know how to tell what Klaus is. He's a tabby cat, but he's mixed with something else. Because his tail is as long as my arm. I've never seen a cat as big as Klaus. I think his dad's name was Bob. Edward blamed Donna for the floor caving in. Klaus just squeezed himself in this box over here. You'd be proud, Edward. Yeah, just squeezed his fat rolls right in this box. And he's a big cat in a tiny box. And I bet the neighbors downstairs think it's me. They're like, he's always banging around. Nah, it's a giant cat running around. Guess it was my CPA on the phone. He suggested I plan my estate for death, so I called the cops. Sound like a threat to me. That's right, guess you let him know. You let him know. Russell, well, would a chip clip help you pee in a balloon? I mean, if you strap it on, it's kind of like those like the hose clips, you know. It probably works like that. Guess he's part tabby cat, part Goodyear blimp. Yeah, he is. Captain Beefy over here. Torwayne, ours is an orange and Egyptian Mao mix. She has long legs and a long tail, talks a lot, just everything the orange Mao says is her exactly. That's interesting, Tori Wayne. How did you find that out? Like, what pointed you in that direction? Ghosty, if you can't beat them, piss on them. Yeah, you know, why not? Why not? Because he needs a girlfriend. He can't. He's not a pet. He's an emotional support Klaus. And that means I can only have one. If I could move into a damn house and out of this subsidized housing, I'd be doing something with my life. Stoner, he's a German Mausenhofen. Is that what he is? He's a Goyoungi Ipnida out in Korea. He's all looking at me because he knows that's what I call him all the time. Metalmouth, he might be mixed with Bengal. That's what I think he's mixed with. Because of the way his snout looks and the way he's got spots on his sides. I think he's Bengal and tabby cat mixed together. And then I think Klaus is part Maine Coon. I did when he was younger because he's got tufts on his ears, but he just doesn't have, I don't know, something about his snout doesn't look like a Maine Coon to me. Based, I did one time, but it was for a friend to pass a drug test. That's what I was thinking too. The only time I've heard of people peeing in balloons is to pass drug tests. Based, not the R. Kelly approach. Well, yeah, I guess. Told to care they have DNA tests for animals. I know, I just don't have money or time. Maybe one day. What's up, Smelly? Happy freedom to you. I'm sorry to hear that, Smelly. What's up, Dominic? Happy freedom to you. Smelly, they should be bioweapons charge. You can get very, very sick from old piss and even die. I think so too, Smelly. I think so too. I think if people piss on you, that should be a whole different charge right there. Cheeky Chops just caught the nicest red fish. You got to join Discord or the website or something so we can see the fruits of your labor there. What's up, Magic Moon? Happy freedom to you. Calling me Buttercup? Dang. What's up, Mana? Happy freedom if I can get you all ready. What's up, Amazing Disgrace? Happy freedom. If the mayor bans religious rallies, let's see what happens when it's not Christian. Yeah. Well, It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Anything bad happens to him, everybody will be like, God did that. People will say that left and right. So yeah, these people, they need to stop hating on Christians. Wayward. I can make a badass giraffe after a 12-pack of Mountain Dew with all that yellow 5. I don't know, Wayward. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means, and I'm not sure I want to know. What the hell is this? Damn it. They caught Klaus out in the wild here. I don't know how they spotted him. You know, how can you not spot him, really? Poor big old Klaus Daniels. Kev Seamus. I know a guy who used a balloon to pass piss test. They found out he was pregnant. Yeah, we had somebody in high school that happened to him. Wow, Snooks, that kind of does look like Klaus. I don't know why. Well, you can't see it on the live. That's a tiny picture. I don't know why they call that an orange Egyptian Mao. Or Mao. He's not really orange. Maybe orange is different in Egypt? Edward, I love those songs you're uploading. I'm trying to figure out how to make a playlist, like on the website, so we can just have a playlist of all your songs right next to each other. Edward, isn't peeing on people extra? It depends. It depends on the event. Tori Wayne, if Klaus has an M on his forehead, he's at least part Mao. I think he does. Guess I tried to use a balloon, but the gerbil almost choked on it. That's terrible. That is terrible. Wayward, a balloon giraffe. Okay, that, context matters. Because I was, it's just lingering around in my brain. I'm like, where's the giraffe? Does it look like a giraffe? Can you pee a giraffe? Balloon animal. That makes a lot more sense. All right, so we're going to get into the fun stuff. Like I said, we're going to be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne. We got 2 funny videos coming up. But before we get into that, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You could do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Let's see what we get today from the Advent calendar by Tori Wayne here. We are making our way through it. Today is day 17, it looks like. Oh, there we go. Weird. I think we got the same one that we got yesterday, which is the super hot one. Habanero hot sauce. I'm pretty sure that's what we got yesterday. It's hotness. I am sure. Habaneros are so hot. Thank you, Tori Wayne. I appreciate you. We're going to have to try some. I can't today. I've been feeling sick all day, so I cannot eat hot sauce today. But remind me tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. We try to do all the fun stuff on Friday. So remind me tomorrow, maybe we'll try some habanero hot sauce. We're going to go ahead and get into these funny videos here. All right, this first one is... Now I found this out in the wild. This one's titled Caroline Leavitt telling us how she really feels.
You know what, President Trump is going to do whatever the fuck he wants, and all these liberal activist judges can kiss my big, beautiful ass, okay? Thank you very much, everybody. Have a nice day. You know... That's
how the press briefing should be. Yes. Get into our official funny video of the day. This one was provided by Stoner. Let's get this pulled up. Yes, it's this one. This one's titled, Your Safety Video for the Day.
Want to see something cool? A commenter asked me, what steps do you take in the event of fire in one of your power plants? Kid, we're in a brick, concrete, and steel building just big enough to fit a couple dozen tons of spinning death perched on top of a boat-eating blender in the basement. We're precariously perched on a perforated wall holding a lake on one side of Satan's slip inside and Davy Jones' jacuzzi on the other. It's all designed to last for a century and built over 100 years ago. We don't even have a shit house, much less a sprinkler system. The whole fucking joint bristles with high voltage and both fire and water conduct electricity even better than you do. Ain't a damn thing in this damn site worth dying for. In the event of a fire, the only steps I'm taking are fucking big ones.
He said, if this place catches on fire, the only steps I'm taking are fucking big ones. Yes, I swear to God. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link. We're going to drop it in all the chats. We're going to read through them. We got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up. But don't skedaddle quite yet because we got a raid coming from Rumble. We're going to have to figure out where we're sending this raid. But either way, that's what's happening next. Let's get this link drop and we're going to move forward. Klaus going to sit in the corner and cry. These guys always making fun of him. Alright, hooligans, there's the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there, keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums, the arcade, and our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. Like I said, we're going to read through and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up. And then we're doing a raid. Tori Wayne, we are pretty saucy here. We are. Holy Captain Seamus. Remember, kids, electricity will kill you. Those are awesome. Those are awesome stickers. Heck yeah. Captain Seamus, this man gets it. Yeah. He knew exactly what he was talking about. Hey, thank you for being here, Cricket Kiss. Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the bestest. Handy news. Let me see. Metal Mouth. Yeah, these people look cool. We'll see. We'll see. They've been live for 14 minutes, so there's a good chance that they're not going to just run away as soon as we do the raid. That's a good suggestion, Metal Mouth. I think we're going to raid them here in just a moment. We're reading through, and like I said, we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up, and we're going to get this raid underway. What's up, Rolling Pony? Happy freedom to you. That's raid Grinder? No, guess. We are not raiding Grinder. Suicide raid. No good. Oh, yeah? sound like Auto-Tune's Klaus. Yeah, you fell in love with some catnip? Mm-hmm. Rhonda, no, it's not my birthday, Rhonda. My birthday's in March. It is Patriot Dad's birthday. All right, hooligans. It's that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, hooligans, it is raid time. This is handy news. Never heard of these people before in my life, but they could use some hooligans in theirs, I am sure. Trapper's already made his way over there. Rolling Ponies over there. Cool Frog's over there. So you guys, you got to let me do the damn raid first. Holy, you guys beating me to it. So let's get this raid on its way. All right. There it is. Let's check them out.
So mine wasn't that creative.
Yeah, we kind of got that. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I am stuck here.
You're not near the city, are you?
No. You mean NYC? No.
Okay.
I'm 6 hours out.
Or Buffalo.
I'm closer to Buffalo than I am to there, but no. I'm in Broome County. If you just put in Broome County, you'll see where that is.
Where they grow apples.
Yeah, great apples.
That's right.
And
we have
apples.
We have
the big horse shows. I know all about that.
Yeah, they have horse shows out here too. We used to have like the state-winning strawberries and shit at one point come out of here, and it's fucking fish, record-sized fish out of our rivers that come through this part. And we had the state musk along for a long time.
I think our raid is going unnoticed.
Big giant motherfucker. My wife's cousin caught it. The one that held the record for like 8 years.
Wisconsin's got the biggest muskies.
Oh, yes, they do.
Are they giant? Yeah.
Maybe not.
And sturgeon.
Sturgeon, yeah. We get the random. There is sturgeon that come through these parts, but it's during migration. You're not allowed to do dick. Like if you see them, they're like wiggling their dinosaur asses up little creeks, getting to fucking dude.
Yeah.
First time I saw one in the wild, it was something. I thought I ate something.
Hey, Cindy K. And yes, we did just get raided by Jeff Mack.
They're huge and creepy.
So,
dude, dino fucking armor fish. They're fucking, yeah, dude. I bet I could punch the shit out of it and it wouldn't do a fucking thing to it. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
They have like stone for heads.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like I could caveman on this thing till I'm blue in the face and it's just go wiggle away. That's what they look like.
Ooh, I just found a better spot for that.
See, dude, he did not die. Vince Offer is still alive.
Okay, well, they weren't that damn excited about it. I don't know. We're going to keep doing these raids, but we might not make them such a big of a deal since people don't seem to think it's that big of a deal. It's a big deal to me. I think raids are cool. Either way, we are wrapping this up. We're going to read through really quick. And like I said, we are going to be wrapping this up, but we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Also, tomorrow is Friday, so we will be doing the voice chat after. Well, we got the Trump rally. We'll see. We'll see how tomorrow goes, because normally we do the voice chat right after the live, but by the time we get to this point of the live, we're going to be doing a Trump rally tomorrow. So we'll see how things go. But either way, we're going to read through and we're wrapping this up. Tori Wayne, Twitch people care a lot more. Yeah. Well, I think it also depends on who we raid. Like if we raid gamers, they seem to be excited about it. But political people, I don't know. They don't seem to care as much. Edward, what kind of show is this? A horse show? I am not sure. Thank you for being here, Matt Rogers. Happy freedom to you. I mean, they acknowledged us. They said that we raided, but that was it. What's up, Nephilah? Happy freedom to you. Happy birthday to you again, Patriot Dad. Thank you for being here, Bill Clay. Southern Eagle, 7 p.m. Trump. Yep. Yep, we're going to be covering it. Agent O, you tried. Yeah. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Thank you, Wayward. All right, hooligans, like I said, we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I appreciate all of you guys being here, helping me cover the news, and helping me make the news suck a little less. Go out there and enjoy the rest of your day. Go find yourself some good food. I'm going to try and do the same. But make your way back to us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.